if she sinks. However, the anima is not just about lust. The universal anima is symbolized by the goddesses who possess feminine energy: Cybele, the goddess of nature, and Aphrodite, the goddess of love. The anima has just as many important positive aspects. It plays a vital role in putting a man's mind in tune with the right inner values and thereby opening the way into more profound inner depths. This is the role of Beatrice in Dante's Divine Comedy, who, after descending into hell and the purgatory, guides him through heaven. There are four stages in the development of the anima. The first stage is best symbolized by the figure of Eve, which represents purely instinctual and biological relations. The second can be seen in Faust's Helen. She personifies a romantic and aesthetic level that is, however, still characterized by sexual elements. The third is represented, for instance, by the Virgin Mary, a figure who raises love, eros, to the heights of spiritual devotion. The fourth type is symbolized by sapientia, wisdom transcending even the most holy and the most pure. In the psychic development of modern man, this stage is rarely reached. The Mona Lisa comes nearest to such a wisdom anima. In practical terms, the positive role of the anima as guide to the inner world occurs when a man takes seriously the feelings, moods, expectations, and fantasies sent by his anima, and when he fixes them in some form, such as writing, painting, sculpture, or musical composition. After a fantasy has been fixed in some specific form, it is essential to regard it as being absolutely real, and not only a fantasy. If this is practiced with devotion over a long period of time, the process of individuation takes place and unfolds in its true form as one brings the unconscious contents into reality. The unconscious, as we know, can never be done with once and for all. The purpose of Jung's analytical psychology is to achieve wholeness of personality, bringing the unconscious contents into consciousness through the lifelong process of individuation and alignment towards the self. Only the painful, but essentially simple, decision to take one's fantasies and feelings seriously can at this stage prevent a complete stagnation of the inner process of individuation, because only in this way can a man discover what this figure means as an inner reality. Thus the anima becomes what she originally was, the woman within, who conveys the vital messages of the self. One such example can be seen with Scottish writer William Sharp, who wrote under Fiona MacLeod, a pseudonym kept almost secret during his lifetime. He wrote on Celtic lore and nature. He wrote out of his heart, out of his soul, through the voice of the archetype of life. When a man is full of life, he is animated. This he could never have brought into expression with his outer self. He knew that what he wrote could not have been done by himself alone. In fact, he even wrote letters to Fiona and she would answer. They were two separate persons, a rare degree of reality corresponding to anima integration. The great poet William Butler Yeats praised Fiona's writings but did not like those of William Sharp. The animus, the man within, is the personification of all male psychological tendencies in woman. It too exhibits both good and bad aspects. However, it does not so often appear in the form of an erotic fantasy or mood, but rather takes the form of a hidden, sacred conviction about one's assumptions. One of the favorite themes that the animus repeats endlessly in the ruminations of this kind of woman goes like this: the only thing in the world that I want is love, and he doesn't love me. Or, in this situation there are only two possibilities, and both are equally bad. Just as the character of a man's anima is shaped by his mother, so the animus is influenced by a woman's father. The father endows his daughter's animus with incontestably and unarguable true convictions, convictions that never include the personal reality of the woman herself as she actually is. The negative aspects of the animus lures women away from all human relationships and personifies a cocoon of dreamy thoughts filled with desire and judgments about how things ought to be, which cuts a woman off from the reality of life. In the folktale of Bluebeard, we can see a representation of a negative animus, who secretly kills all his wives in a hidden chamber. When he marries another woman, he asks her not to open a certain secret door, where all the corpses are found. The The woman, however, is overcome by curiosity and opens it. In this form, the animus personifies all the cold and destructive reflections that invade a woman, which get her into a state where she even wishes death to others. By nursing secret destructive attitudes, a wife can drive her husband and a mother her children into illness, accident, or even death. Or she may decide to keep the children from marrying, a deep hidden form of evil that rarely comes to the surface of the mother's conscious mind. A naive old woman once said to me while showing me a picture of her son who was drowned when he was 27, "I prefer it this way. It's better than giving him away to another woman." An unconscious animus opinion may lead to a strange passivity and paralysis of all feelings, or a deep insecurity. In the depths of the woman's being, the animus whispers, "You are hopeless. What's the use of trying? There's no point in doing anything. Life will never change for the better." Just as the animus also takes on a vampiric aspect. It is one of the activities of the animus life of a woman to steal, to suck life from other people. Such a woman becomes a vampire because she has no life in herself, but she needs life and so must take it where she finds it. The negative devil animus kills every feminine aspect in life. Unfortunately, whenever one is possessed by the anima or animus, it seems as if we ourselves are having such thoughts and feelings. The ego identifies with them to the point where it is unable to detach itself and see them for what they are. One really becomes possessed by the unconscious, and only after the possession has fallen away does one realize with horror that one has said and done things diametrically opposed to one's real thoughts and feelings. Like the animus does not merely consist of negative qualities such as brutality, recklessness, empty talk, and silent, obstinate, evil ideas. He too has a very positive and valuable side. He too can build a bridge to the self through his creative activity. If a woman realizes who and what her animus is, her animus can turn into an invaluable inner companion who endows her with the masculine qualities of initiative, courage, objectivity, and spiritual wisdom. The animus, just like the anima, exhibits four stages of development. He first appears as a personification of mere physical power, for instance, as an athletic champion or muscle man. In the next stage, he possesses initiative and the capacity for planned action. In the third phase, the animus becomes the word, often appearing as a professor or clergyman. Finally, in his fourth manifestation, the animus is the incarnation of meaning. On this highest level, he becomes, like the anima, a mediator of the religious experience whereby life acquires new meaning. The dance between anima and animus is indispensable for individuation. Just as Jung describes the anima as the archetype of life, he calls the animus the archetype of meaning. Jung makes reference to the idea of the syzygy, the divine couple united by a sacred marriage, as a motif as universal as the existence of man and women, such as the union celebrated by Shiva and Shakti or Zeus and Hera. The anima gives birth to the images of the psyche. It brings them to life from the unconscious, while the animus gives them meaning in consciousness in the outer world. The confrontation with the unconscious can be seen as an active act of meditation, which has its Latin roots in meditatio, to reflect upon, which has a healing effect. The Dictionary of Alchemy, written in the 17th century, describes it as an internal talk of one person with another who is invisible, as in the invocation of a deity, communion with oneself, or with one's good angel. By understanding, writing, and drawing dreams, we incorporate the images of the unconscious. The most important dreams are the so-called archetypal dreams, which come from the collective unconscious. There are two important practices for Jung in relation to dreams: amplification and active imagination. Amplification is the use of mythological, historical, and cultural parallels in order to amplify or turn up the volume on the dream material. Jung calls this the psychological tissue in which the image is embedded. He wanted to avoid the process to be entirely subjective. During his life, Jung interpreted around 80,000 dreams and discovered that they seemed to follow a clear pattern. demonstrating the validity of his concept of the collective unconscious. With active imagination, one visualizes and contemplates on any one fragment of fantasy that seems significant and elaborates on it by adding further unconscious material in a natural manner. The goal is to bring the unconscious material into the already existing conscious material of the written dream. It is common for intense and frequent dreams to become weaker and less frequent the more they are made conscious. In other words, dreams contain fantasies which want to become conscious. When confronting the figures of the unconscious, one shouldn't ask questions about the ego or the outer world, but of one's inner reality. The dream world of symbols does not mean that it is mere fantasy. In fact, imagination seeks to magnify, that is, to expand consciousness. In other words, active imagination is actively expanding consciousness. The goal of individuation is to become more and more who we really are, distinct from others, and yet in relationship to others. This process is a series of confrontational dialogues between us and the world, the human beings to whom we are related and bound, and the inner world of the archetypes. An essential part of this process is that a man becomes conscious of his anima and a woman of her animus, in order to differentiate him or herself from it, and not be dominated by it. The inner living figures expect complete neglect from us, and they aren't happy about that because they are real. We find that thoughts, feelings, and affects are alive in us which we would never have believed possible. Naturally, possibilities of this sort seem utterly fantastic to anyone who has not experienced them himself, for a normal person knows what he thinks. Such a childish attitude on the part of the normal person is simply the rule, so that no one without experience in this field can be expected to understand the real nature of anima and animus. With these reflections, one gets into an entirely new world of psychological experience, provided, of course, that one succeeds in realizing it in practice. Those who do succeed can hardly fail to be impressed by all that the ego does not know and never has known. This increase in self-knowledge is still very rare nowadays, and is usually paid for in advance with a neurosis, if not with something worse. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can support the channel on Patreon or by liking, commenting, or sharing the content. Thank you for watching.
The government is a figment of your imagination. It's an artificial, intelligent overlay. It is only a concept. It's a play, it's a performance, it's an act. They love when I have to fucking go off. I can look at something from a few different sides, and I can see where it all connects despite what they're telling me. Right? They just look at what they're told. I look at what makes sense. You know, they'll say I'm doing word salad. They'll say that I'm just going off on my own tangent, but that is because my mind works in a different way than the majority of the slaves. You guys are all in your feelers and never see the logic behind life, how it all moves together and fits together and how it works. So when you learn to check your feelers and move them out of the way and just observe with clarity and presence and awareness, you will make the right determinations and the right decisions. It's all the same shit over and over again. And no matter how much I speak on self-empowerment, self-mastery, self-reflection, you all have a belief and a feeling that's going to trump that. Ancient wisdom that works for everybody who embodies the path. You're not your own God. I know you want to be, but you're not. As soon as you get in line with what that thing wants from you or what is, you'll stop having these fucking problems. So I view all the rest of this shit as a distraction. Governance is an act and a play, and it requires your belief and participation. The culture, the society, the legal system, the legal society, policy, statute, and code is the original artificial intelligence and state of consciousness that has been overlaid on the NI. And that's why you have domesticated slaves and you have uncivilized men like myself. You don't want to accept that there's an objective morality that exists in this realm that every man and woman can comprehend using objective logic. it's not about wanting the fame and the riches. It's about being good at what you do, being recognized for it, and then when you get to the dance, telling all the people to suck your dick in public and leave because you never wanted to bond with them anyway. That's the whole point of being true to yourself, is so that wherever you get to that you're meant to go, you don't have to change that. Quite the opposite. That's what got you there. I got a direct link to that spirit and to the people who shit you in. You can't get in between that. That's beyond worldly power. That's where you go beyond the ceiling that they don't want you to go beyond. That's the stage of inspiration and empowerment. They can't control you no more. They can't influence you no more. They can't put fear on you and things around you to stop you from being who and what you're meant to be. That's the game for me. That's the game for all of us, I thought. Actualized and realized. Written on our heart, first and foremost, through common sense, that if not overlaid with some dogma and indoctrination, we could all communicate harmoniously. Right? So I'm never going to accept, unless my perspective completely changes, that there isn't an objective morality here that can be hit as a standard and understood by any being with the capacity of objective logic, understanding right from wrong. Okay? So you just want to say statute, policy, and code is law, and the law is the law, even though they're making it up and revising it constantly.
God damn it.
And it's not always in line with objective right from wrong. So you're completely misunderstood. You guys talk from feelers. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Your etymology is never sound because you don't care to look into the words and terms. This should not be that difficult. But for beings who lost the ability to imagine, I'm sure that it's quite the Herculean task. You should be able to zoom out and see all the connections and how it relates. You can't do that, you have no business speaking to someone else who can. There is no selfless component to you folks' consciousness. And it's evident because you constantly project onto others how selfish you think they are, because you don't think that that state of consciousness is attainable. Embarrassing.
Man, that guy's got some anger. He's got some bitterness and resentment, it seems. All right, we're here, folks. We made it. Another trip around the sun, as they say, on the round ball earth. I'm not going to have that argument today. Why would I? It's my born day. Right? It's not my birthday. It's my born day. What the average citizen slave calls the birthday. So I'll take it. We're here. We're queer. Get used to it. All right? You got to put up with me, potentially another one. Whole another year, you're going to have to put up with me. I didn't die yet. All right? I thought for sure that I'd be dead by the time I was 30. I used to proclaim that rather regularly. I thought it was an intuition. Maybe it was one of those animus games I was playing on myself. Some kind of creeping dysfunction convincing me that I'll be dead. Nope. You're not getting out of this that easy. Like Lee said, she's been supporting and contributing in various ways, and encouraging me to care for my body and myself. She goes, "You're not getting out of here that easy." So kick back, relax, get used to it, do what you got to do. I got Brian O'Shea in the back. Is he going to run the broadcast with Snafu Snaps today? Because it's party time. All right, I get to party today. That's what this is about. It's all about me. Brothers and sisters, yeah, we're coming at ya. I'm singing to me because I'm egotistical and narcissistic. I don't need anyone to join me on my birthday. Okay, Brian O'Shea, I don't need anyone. When you're egotistical and narcissistic like I am, you don't really enjoy other people's company anyway. So you just kind of hang with yourself. You convince other people that you're powerful and valuable so you can use them. But, on days like this, when you find yourself alone, when you look outside and maybe you see some chemtrails and evidence of slavery and genocide, it's important to have good humor yourself, right? To care about yourself. So every once in a while, on my born day, birthday, slave day, I'll sing to myself just to show myself how much I appreciate myself. Your thoughts on any of that, Brian O'Shea? You ever do that?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Yeah, go ahead. Give me a Marilyn Monroe kind of a vibe. Like, give me show daddy your appreciation. Maybe even do a little bit of a wiggle.
Thanks, Mr. President, for all the things you've done, for all the battles you've won, the way you deal with U.S. Steel, and all our problems by the ton. We thank you so much. Everybody, happy birthday, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United
Yeah, but
States.
you're not on camera. You're not like doing the whole
Fuck.
happy birthday. And like you even kind of push your cleavage together and do happy birthday.
It's hyper gay, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Snafu Snaps will do it. Snafu Snaps will sing to me like Marilyn Monroe, push his cleavage together.
I could do that, but Crew did you better, Daddy. We even though I'm busy pogo hunting, pedo hunting, doing my thing here in the digital experience, we rounded up a special collection for you for Daddy's birthday. It's in your backstage.
Wow.
From Crew to you. That's you. This is from Crew to you, Daddy. No one was forced. They just were coerced.
So no one was harmed in the making of whatever this is?
No one was forced. They were coerced. The optics are high. Happy birthday, Dada.
I don't know why you're saying that, but but all right, let's see. Oh, here we go. Great.
Birthday, sweetheart.
Happy birthday, happy birthday. Everybody singing, telephone is ringing. Happy birthday.
Wow.
Everyone's repeating.
Salute.
Singing happy birthday, so as if compete.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Happy birthday to you.
Yo, Shay, isn't that nice? Slow State said happy birthday to me. Cynthia sang me a happy birthday song. They both sang to me, and a troop of chimpanzees did a little bit of a rocket shuffle. Kind of nice, huh?
Yeah. He did all that on an Android, I think. Incredible.
Why do you have that look? You got a look on your face like you wish it was your birthday. And that this was all about you. Do you want to maybe, you know, you're not asking for this. I'm saying, can we get this off of me and make this about Bryan O'Shea? Like, this is a celebration of Bryan O'Shea and his life.
No.
Seems kind of like, is there something going on with you? Is there something you need to talk about?
No, it's my face is all fucking red on this screen. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
You just gotta look in your eye.
He figured about birthday spankings and you, dude. I know he is.
The what?
See, he's getting redder. The optics are high.
What now? He's thinking about spanking me for my birthday? What? I think that's you.
That's
is that you.
What's going
Bryan,
on?
why are you so fucking red?
I don't know. I think I'm sunburned. And I was just singing Marilyn Monroe. It's fucking Paul.
No, come on. Put some comedian in it. Actually do something comedic.
Yeah. Snafu. Fuck, dude.
You got any new material? Did you go up on stage recently? Any video of that?
Nah, man. I'm stranded in this small town unless I make it happen. Unless I fucking gather up a group of
You're
old
pretty
people
much
and smush them in
indirectly
a corner.
asking me in this audience to give you more money, aren't you? Just come out with it, man. I mean, Mitchell's doing it, Slavecott's doing it, Slow State, they're all doing it. Because you keep coming on here every day and you're like, oh man, my leg. I got a leg thing. I can't work. I mean, I could, but I won't because my leg. And I'm kind of stranded and I got this gas tank. It's got a hole in it. I don't know how I'm going to get out of here. I don't know how I'm going to move on. You're going full pathetic warrior. I'm a pool boy. I used to be an audiologist. I used to have a great career. It's all good on the drain now.
Yeah, you're right.
Like people could help me, but they're not.
Right. I gotta fucking get it together, dude. What the fuck, dude? No excuses. But no, I haven't been on stage. It's fucking pathetic, dude. All that momentum, dude, just fucking going, and then I just.
Well, what
stopped.
can you do here today to maybe like cajole the audience into contributing so you can fix whatever problem you have or move on? Like, there's some kind of like skill or ability.
You know what? People are like passing you, dude, on by, dude. Like NASCAR, they're just like zooming by.
Are you willing to get shot by a dog collar like Snaps?
Well, look what they're doing. I put in your backstage. Someone could have done. Bryan could be doing this in Vegas for Daddy, and someone just passed him by. Like, look, that could be Bryan in Vegas as Unslaved via Gorilla, but Bryan's fucking slacking.
That is true. I mean, instead of just sitting around here looking all depressing, bringing the energy down, he could be in an exciting kind of gorilla costume. Kind of doing
with a little Unslavia bucket or something, and some cards with the channel name, or Bryan, what the fuck, dude? You're slacking. You're in Vegas.
Not in Vegas, you idiot. But yeah, I don't need no shot collar shit. I'll figure out a way to get some fucking cash, whatever. Figure this shit out. Volunteer at the fucking community
tell
garden.
some jokes. It's a good vibe around here. It's a birthday celebration. Tell some jokes. Maybe drop the Cash App, and maybe people look out for you.
What are you talking about? I don't want no money.
That's your fucking profession. That's your career at this point. Tell this kid to do his career and his profession. He laughs at me. He goes, "Yeah, good one." He goes, "Good one. I'll do comedy, and someone will give me something." Yeah, right. Like isn't that what this is? Isn't that what you're doing? I'm trying to help here.
What happened to those paid gigs? I thought you had like a deal set up where you're
going on, dude.
I fucking
don't have a bus. This town doesn't have a bus or a fucking train or like a bicycle. What's the deal?
I know. I need to make it happen. I gotta figure this shit out, dude. I gotta figure this out, man. I fucking put it all on hold.
You guys are pretty cool. I'm glad I made it. Cool. Great party. You guys are cool.
I saved Bryan's life today.
This should be a party, right? If I threw like a birthday party, this would be it. It would be me, Bryan, and Snap.
Hey, did you tell Daddy I saved your life today?
No, but it reminds me of a New Year's celebration in Chicago, dude. Bryan picked me up from a bus station. Me, what the fuck's their name? Lou and Kevin, dude. Kevin's kind of retarded. Fuck, he turned his camera off. Turned mine off, dude. Fuck, he turned it on.
Come on, man.
I know your trick with the camera off, dude. I know that fucking trick. Oh, yeah. We did cocaine, little bumps of cocaine. I cooked up some steaks at his dad's house. I don't know, man. It just reminds me of it. There's the three of us. New Year's celebration. Yeah. It's nice.
Right.
Technical difficulties. Your voice isn't syncing up with your fuck.
He made a chimpanzee with. Watching Bryan O'Shea in this venue is like watching a chimpanzee discover stone tools. Why are you looking like that?
Fucks up with
this is what we call cooking, Bryan.
Huh?
No, go ahead and cook. Keep cooking.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with these. What the fuck? I don't know what's going on with these technical difficulties. Worse over at OTWs, I guess. But what the fuck, dude? Goddamn library internet.
Come on, man. You got to drum up some fucking
my
funds
phone bill.
Here. Let's go.
For what? Not for me. Fuck that,
yeah,
dude.
No, for you. You got to drum up some funds here. You got a broken gas tank. You're stranded.
I'm not.
Let's go.
I don't give a fuck, dude. I can't. It's not even gonna help it, dude. I'm figured out myself, dude. I'm not gonna fucking.
Look, I'm even helping you. Please give what you can now. I put that under your name.
Dude, fuck that, dude. I'm meant to be in this town, dude. Or I could figure out a way to get to Vegas. Like you're saying, a bus. Yeah, I need to look into this shit. Yeah, I need to get back on stage. It's been a few weeks. I was making some progress, getting paid.
Let's go. Let's do like Kill Tony here right now. Give me 2 minutes to stand up, and then I'll insult you for like 10, 20. And then people will give to that.
Tell us more about your down on the luck optics, Mr. O'Shea.
Let's go, Bryan. Let's hear your stands up. It's me, Tony.
Tell Daddy what's wrong.
You seem really funny. You seem like a really funny guy. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tony, and this is Bryan.
Bring your problems to him on his birthday.
Snafu, please. You're annoying and grotesque.
Who's the celebrity guest that's on it?
You're the celebrity guest. You're the man with the highest T cell count other than me. Means you have AIDS.
Oh, you almost fucking dropped that shit earlier today on who is hitting on.
You can't, dude. The celebrity guest doesn't do stand up.
You're not standing up. You're sitting down. Kill Tony.
Then you almost just picked your nose.
Snafu, please.
Tony, you skinny freak! How dare I let you get away with insulting me on the last time I was on your show? You skinny freak, piece of shit! Don't stand for nothing, you little miscreant. Yeah.
Next.
Fuck, I suck, dude. How the fuck did I get paid for anything? Dude? This is bullshit.
I don't know.
It's a good question.
Completely abandoned stand-up in a small town. Fucked up the recording at the last time at the police station.
Is your car still out of commission?
No, it runs. Just got some gas. It cost me like $100 to go to Vegas last time. Do an hour and a half drive. Right.
But yet you played poker.
You had to sell the car for gas money.
Yeah. Become a hitchhiker, Bryan. You'll probably go hiking a lot more.
There's this drunk guy, though. I made some money in town. I drove this drunk guy to St. George so he could go to the bank and go to the Social Security office. And he held it together, the drunkenness. But then once we got back in town, he's like, hey, man, it's a party, dude. And then he gave me $150 to drive him around. I spent $50 on weed. This goddamn expensive dispensary, a quarter bag of weed, dude. Then I had $100 left, and I spent a bunch on food. I only got a couple bucks left. That was it's been a couple weeks. I sort of fell off there for a minute, dude. It wasn't coming on the broadcast. Fuck, it's your birthday, dude. It was enough about me, man. This is bullshit.
Yeah, but you're poor and broke and can't get out of where you are. You're in some weird room. We have no idea what room that is. Like, there's nothing on the walls. Like, we're concerned. Like, where are you even? What is that? That's not a library.
I'm in a library. I'm in the Mesquite Library, dude.
He's pulling a JG going in the bathrooms.
He's broadcasting from his therapist's bathroom. Mate, can I get a few minutes in here? He's got Medicaid covered therapy for free. He's broadcasting in the therapist's waiting room.
You know what Walmart's get this thing called?
What'd you think about that gorilla on the street making money with the bucket while you just sit in the bathroom?
Snafu, can I also point out from the other day why you're the worst journalist ever? Because you couldn't even get it right again or figure out that gorilla chair you said I could buy is not for sale. It doesn't even exist. It's a concept item.
Nubs could make it even better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we're going to give Nubs a blueprint of that gorilla chair, and he's somehow going to make it, right? What are we going to pay for that? $5,000? $10,000 for him to build a fucking gorilla chair, half the size of the room?
People who crochet. I used to do beanies for the homeless. We could get a gorilla chair for the,
Why is London McLovin here? He obviously has issues with me. He obviously has resentment and bitterness or jealousy for me, something.
Yeah, last night they were talking shit over on Host X.
They always sit around talking shit. But I mean, I guess you know what? It's the born day today. They're putting aside their bitterness and resentment, and they're showing cordiality.
Can we call Talcott tip line then if we're in such a good mood?
Go ahead and call him. You got his number. I'm not calling him because I don't want him to have my number.
Oh shit! I don't have
And
to
when I
protect
call
the vibe.
privately, it doesn't go through.
I wish this is
I
where
still haven't ruled out that Jack Talcott's some kind of like deep state AI / Fed tied operation. You know, I have
Brian.
look at London McLovin. I have no issues with you or anybody else on here. Just because I talk shit or tell you what I perceive of you doesn't mean I hate you or have issues with you or don't have love for you in a sense. You know, I really don't live in hate. I really don't personalize what goes on here as much as possible. There's times where I've gotten frustrated and wanted to like, get down to something because people kind of draw that mode out of me, the animalistic kind of worldly ways. But even that is kind of fleeting. I go into that mode, I kind of spout off, and then I immediately pull myself back to being centered and balanced and understanding that there's nobody on here that can hurt me. They can't do anything to me. They can't affect my life. I've been my own worst enemy most of my life. So I have no problem with anybody on here or out there. If anything, I have enough task in this life controlling my thoughts, emotions, actions, inactions, and being the man I know I need to be. Right? That's where the conversation really begins and ends. But, there's times around here we will make comparisons or we will point out the obvious, or I will do a bit of an intuitive reading or presumption and assumption, connecting dots or reading between the lines, and I will speak on what I perceive of other people. If it's not true, well, then don't take it personal. Just let it be part of my bit, part of my broadcasting act, however you want to perceive it. Because chances are, if we were like, in public and it was just a regular day, I wouldn't walk up to you at Walmart and go, here's what I'm reading from you and what I perceive of you. I kind of see this as kind of a dysfunctional, like extended sort of mirroring of family where we do fellowship and have conversations and also create content based on the truth of human existence, like good, bad, or ugly. So, I have a pretty philosophical, impersonal, objective perspective of myself and other folks here who I may insult or interact with in a less than savory way. You chalk it up to the game at the end of the day. You look at it if you need to, if there's some truth. If not, well, then I'm just being a dick, right? I'm just being an asshole. I'm just jumping out the window, putting on, pimping and macking, talking my shit to get some attention or to draw out a conversation. Because it's really not about getting attention. It's really about getting eyes on me and the conversation and getting folks triggered to have the conversations about who and what we are. And what this life is, if that makes sense. Greetings, Mr. Talcott.
Snowball Walnuts.
Happy born day, brother. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations. You made it another day.
Yeah.
The Matrix, surrounded by slavery and genocide and incompetence and incapability. Boy, it feels good.
It's still an excuse to celebrate because they haven't got rid of you yet, right?
Right.
Haven't got rid of you yet.
What was that?
I was like, damn, Talcott, haven't got rid of him yet, huh?
No, I was actually trying to hear from Paul, not you, Snafu.
Right. It's a common theme here, I find.
Isn't that because you look like a fool today and you got handled like a fool?
Can we not make this about you and him and your vitriol? If anything, let it be about me and my vitriol, please. It takes preference here.
All right.
Greetings, Mr. London, man.
Happy birthday, Paulie boy.
Thank you, sir.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
You got to let everyone else know they got to put up with me potentially for a whole other 365, right? Because I go 7 days a week here. So it's a lot to deal with. I know. I'm hard to love.
It's easier one day at a time, though.
Yeah. Small doses. You got to take me in short bursts and small doses. Don't overdose on Paulie boy. It's a bit much. It can be a bit heavy. A lot like the heroin that almost killed me twice.
Oh my God.
Right? You don't want to overdose on the morbidity that is me.
I heard you share something. You had in you 30 was your age. That you figured 30 was it. For me, it was 28. And
oh, quick capping, Jack.
I was going to die by the time I was 28, or there was a chance I was going to live forever. And I didn't know what that meant.
Oh my God.
I think that this highlights the extremism that is your kind of personality. Some might say disorder, but I'd say it's what makes us who and what we are in a way. It's just about ordering it. So you go, hey, I'm either going to die at 28 or I'm immortal. I don't know.
Oh, when he literally said me two could be the two witnesses, I mean, I saw your facial expression. I mean,
Snafu, can you please read a room or just listen to what's being said? I'm pretty sure we both just told you, like yesterday, multiple times.
Yeah, but you're feeding into his delusional bullshit.
I don't need a judgment from you on what I'm doing and not doing. Thank you, producer Snapped. World am I in? He keeps giving me advice over my shoulder about how to do a broadcast, and I've told him hundreds of days straight, stop it. It's not needed.
Always trying to help.
I'm just going to start making delusional statements and see if it works.
Are you really this stupid? Like, you're saying he's delusional. Okay, but you're stupid. That's almost worse. His delusion is entertaining. You're not getting it. Like, in order for me to do an interesting, entertaining, compelling broadcast, I need an element of delusion or fantasy. And then you're like stepping all over that so you can tell me how you feel. I don't care. Who cares?
So you two are the two witnesses then. I'll go with that.
Again, just
Look
let
at
him
shrug his shoulder like, could be.
I'm gonna throw you out of here soon. You're stepping all over me in the broadcast. You're shitting on the cake. Snafu just took a shit on the cake, right? he just knocked the table over with all the gifts on it. London Man came in, put down like some English champagne, like some fish and chips, put a gift on it, and he just knocked it all over and shit on the cake again. It's every day with you. I want Talcott's delusion here. It's content. Stop ruining it. He needs the delusion. It's his coping mechanism. Do you want him to destroy himself? You're a horrible man.
We've got to have Snafu dancing on the table, man. That's right. Just what's coming to my head.
By the way, something that just kind of hit me. By the way, here's the by the way for you. If he's delusional, what are you? You're the guy who says, I work with Alex Jones. Everyone knows me in the truther industry. I'm like the biggest thing going. Yeah, I have a 6-person live broadcast. And all my audience pretty much hates me and reviles me. But I'm big. I'm happening. Stuff's going on. We're fighting the pogos. And I go, bro, you're dying in the hospital every 3 days. It might not be the reality you're actually existing in. Like, I know that's upsetting. It upsets me. So it probably upsets you because it's you living it. Right? So it's a slippery slope. Like, you point the finger, there's 3 back at you. Like, Talcott may be delusional. He's still got a fireplace. He's not dying in the hospital. His delusion has somehow carried him through many years. You might not make it. Quite frankly, you might, I don't know, maybe you could use a little bit more delusion. You're so angry and bitter and resentful. Maybe you should start having really high hopes. You know? You're going to end wars and legal secrets. You're going to work with Jack Talcott. You already said that you're Alex Jones's right-hand man. Let's go to the next level. We're ending wars and legal secrets. We're spreading love here.
I never said I was right man.
Well, by that I meant you're a jerk off. That's code for right-hand man.
I am still pursuing conversations with Donald Trump, too.
See?
The more I think about it, the more
that delusion sense. Right there is going to carry him over another few decades. He's going to ride that delusion right there. You got nothing. Your last song was, have you ever sat in a room and been spinning and hate your life and want to die? That was your last hit single.
Jack,
and then you're asking us, have we ever? It's you. That's you. This song's about you.
Well, actually, the talking to Trump is more plausible. I could see him screaming from the sidelines.
No. Donald Trump is an asshole, and he has little to no power. Let's get a clue here.
Right.
You have better luck seancing the Pleiadians and talking directly to them on how to run this world than Donald Trump.
So
I'm pretty sure one comes before the other. The lizard people. Contact the lizard people, line 1. Mr. Talcott, Debbie, can we get the lizard people on line 1? I'm pretty sure they're avataring Donald Trump to run this world.
Jack, can you talk to P. Diddy too?
I bet Donald Trump has connections, though. He doesn't
Yeah,
have
but
the
P
power.
Diddy has more connections. Why don't you try to talk to P Diddy versus Trump? I'm serious, Jack.
Actually, it sounds like he could use some guidance.
Yes, he said that he is a Jack Talcott guy.
I think you reach out to P. Diddy and give him some life coaching because the
Oh,
whole human
shit.
trafficking rap not going to go well, I suspect.
He's led himself astray, that's for sure. Thinking he could get away with some bizarre.
Is that what Coolio said?
What's that?
Is that what Coolio said, Jack?
I don't know. How did Coolio get involved?
It's insane.
Oh, you don't know? You don't know about his whistleblowing optics, and all of a sudden Coolio is out of the game?
Back to optics. He had a cycle back to optics and Coolio.
Subliminal messages. A lot of these rappers are coming out with the agendas in play.
Shit.
We're alive at a really bizarre, crazy time where there's a lot of facts coming out and a lot of people are being shown for what they are. There's a lot of people being tested. Donald Trump.
Can I just correct you? Like, let's just be really honest today. I mean, this is a Lord's Day, the birth of the God of all media.
Mm-hmm.
The consecration. Yes,
Yes.
would that be okay? My point is let's just level with the audience and everyone else. There's nothing bizarre P. Diddy was doing. I mean, I and Jack Talcott, the only reason we've been broadcasting is to get to the point where we can finally do everything he was doing and it be legitimized and have enough power to not either get caught or be punished. Can we just get all the way real here?
So you're saying you would play with Jack's Diddy and you let Jack
No.
play
We're going to
Diddy?
fuck other men who need to be dominated for the indindustry, not each other.
Yeah, but
We
what
have
if
a
Diddy
working
was
relationship,
producing
I and Jack Talcott. It's purely professional. There's other people who have to be fucked at mansions in order to keep this industry running strong, show business. It's been like that from the beginning.
I'm sure he's just doing what he was taught. I mean, that's probably what he did to get where he got. And that's what I've heard of, is a lot of that Hollywood nonsense. There's so much sickness, people exploiting each other like that.
Yeah, but it's kind of like government. It's like, it seems like sickness, but it's necessary and there's actually order to the chaos. Like, let's say if we wanted to make Bryan O'Shea famous, right? Like we kind of feel bad for him. We pity him. We know he's going to be a loser, failure, and never really make it. So we're going to put him on. In order for him not to get crazy in his ego and pride, you got to fuck him and humiliate him. That's the only way that you can bestow this kind of benefit and privilege on him without him just going completely wild and crazy. You got to rein him in a little bit. Their own good.
Brian should go to the gay bar in Vegas.
Snafu, please. You don't understand diplomacy and governance or mansion parties or really anything else of prominence, okay? You understand Section 8 living, and we're not doing a broadcast on that right now.
Right now.
Go ahead, Mr. Talcott. That's next episode. Next episode is Section 8 living, and you're going to be the co-host. Go ahead, sir.
Well, at least I'm not squatting.
Please stop talking. I'll be more direct. Please stop talking. Does that work? Go ahead, Mr. Talcott.
What you were describing about Bryan needing, I think the world's already done that. Bent him over, kind of humiliated him a little bit. It's happened.
No, that was his mother. Remember, he said the mother had him and his brother over her lap, inserting things in their rectum.
Ooh.
Jack Talcott said you were handled, Brian.
He's still talking. He's still talking, huh? He won't even take the direct.
He forgets, like attention span of less than a goldfish.
Yeah. He's special needs.
Says the guy who's going to end legal secrets.
All things are possible, man. You never
like
know.
you being the second witness in the Bible? You being one of the two witnesses?
I don't claim to know the answers. I just point in possibility.
Jack, you're not the second witness. That's the answer. Okay. In the Bible, you're not the second witness.
You can't prove that. You can't prove that. You can't. It doesn't matter what you know and don't know. You claim. You can't prove it.
Oh, I can absolutely prove it.
You can't. You can't actually prove that Jack Talcott's not even the second coming of Jesus. You can't prove it.
I sure as hell can prove that.
It's not possible. You can't prove a negative.
It's very possible to prove it.
You can't.
We can't prove We
This
can't
guy.
prove we exist beyond right now because everything else is just imagined and remembered. So,
That's some guru bullshit.
but it's still true.
It's
Snafu, you're
not
annoying.
true.
You're annoying. In case you want to know, you probably don't care, but I'm going to tell you you're annoying. So yeah, Steve, that's a common thing here. Like folks don't get notifications. They're playing games. You got to kind of search for me if you want to see what's going on. They don't like me. I'm the enemy here. Just wondering if Joshua has been on your channel lately. No. Why? Is there something that you need to speak with me about? Am I the legal or lawful guardian of that being, presuming they need one? Because I don't know the particulars. I don't have the specifics. Maybe you should contact the legal / lawful guardian to that being and ask them why, if he's needs a guardian or he's not supposed to be here for some reason I'm not aware of, why he is, why he has accounts and access and all the rest of it. Maybe you folks should appropriate all this time, energy, and attention to where it belongs. Yeah, I know. Crazy idea. Actual personal accountability and responsibility instead of putting everyone else's burdens and obligations onto everyone else. I know this is the way a lot of herd-like citizen slaves who vote think, but it's not reality. Okay? So, Mr. ACPS, whoever that is, if you could come on record, unless that's your first or last name, I'd appreciate it. Because I don't owe you or Joshua or anyone else one thing or another. I will do as I please, as I wish. I have the freedom to do so. If anyone is here and they're not supposed to be here based on policy, well, you need to take that up with them and whoever their legal lawful guardians are. I'm tired of having to be everybody's psychiatrist, philosopher, guru, stepdaddy, keeper, asylum treatment facilitator. It gets a little bit much at times, right? So I prefer to put the obligations and responsibilities back where they belong. Your thoughts on any of that, Mr. Slavecott? As I've referred to you before in the past, affectionately, because again, it's like you can only have so much good humor and take a philosophical approach before you're just smacked in the face with what seems to be reality that we oftentimes wonder how real it really is. Like, is this real? Is this just a light-based simulation of sorts? Like, what are we looking at here? What are we dealing with?
Real enough to affect the 3D world within the Matrix.
It really makes you wonder. But
really, you'll be reviewing my content and be in contact with me in the near future. I don't know how you're going to achieve that, but good luck. And just make sure when you contact me in the future, whoever the man or woman is who's acting as an agent potentially for some organization, you make sure that you put your given and family name on record so that I can make sure that I bring proper remedy and resolution with you and whoever you are and what you stand for. Okay? Because I'm not the one. You're not going to get me in fear. I'm not in fear of a bunch of cowardly, fearful demons who don't put themselves on record with actual sacrifice and consequence because they're too fearful and cowardly. So they operate through limited liability corporations and corporate construct. You guys don't scare me. You're pathetic and embarrassing. And I got to tell you, there's a part of my sub-psychology I've analyzed where I almost wait and wish for this shit. Okay? As much as it's self-sabotaging to me, and as much as people are confused about that aspect of my psychology, I'm aware of it. So much as I don't want anything bad to happen to me and I may not like it, there's a part of me that knows what this realm is and what is called forth, and I almost wait for it. And part of me almost wishes for it. So I can put it on record who and what I am once again and who and what you are. And then we can gamble. The creator can decide what's meant for me. So I'm not completely even in control of that, obviously. It would seem, right? So all I can do is be me, the best I know how, do what's true and what's right with a conviction, surrender the rest, and we'll see where it goes. But if you think you're going to, because I don't believe you're really that organization, you're just some fucking cowardly clown who wants to put fear into me using that organization. Well, you better go back to the drawing board. You could come on here as the devil himself, and it's not going to affect who and what I am and what I'm doing. let alone ACPS. Give me a fucking break.
It's not them. It's a burner account. We looked.
Of course it is. Send in the clowns. Even if it was, I'll tell you the same thing just like I just did. It don't make no difference to me.
Hey, what came to mind though with this, the joy of the challenge, getting challenged. There's something to be said by that. It's become a role, right? And it helps us refine. And if I'm not mistaken, you know, in that book, in the scripture, it talks about finding joy in the attacks. Means we're doing good. When people react,
blessed are those who are persecuted. If I have to die or go to prison going up against an organization that's well known to be child abusing, child trafficking, demonic scum, oh man, that must mean I'm really favored by the Most High. I'm here for everything that I'm meant to get. Good, bad, or indifferent. That's how faith works. I'm coming for it all. I'm here for everything I'm meant for.
hey, and what you said too, the sign of the society where people are so quick to go run to daddy authority and whatever version it might be. It's a sickness, man. The world is literally nuts. It makes no sense when you really stop and think about it. What's that?
How long did it take you to figure this out?
I've known all my life. I just didn't accept the fact that we could do anything about it. I didn't think we could. Now, why not? Let's see what.
Well, there you go. So they're telling me down there now, the word is, according to the legal people, that DeCastro signed the paperwork, made himself property of the state officially, then went on recorded communication lines and apparently uttered threats toward Judge Zimmerman. So keep it up. Keep digging your hole deeper. Right? I mean, I don't get it, man. I really don't. You guys are so caught up in your ego trip. And we could say the same thing for me at times because all criticism is self-criticism. But I try to be really careful with my language. You know, to, if nothing else, create a plausible deniability. That's why I'm so specific and or so generalized at times. You folks get on here and then you call from jail and start saying specific things about specific people and think that they're not going to turn around and try to remix you with that and write that up as something. You better, I told you from the beginning, you better watch what you're doing with them jail phones and that communication and what your status and standing is and how they're going to take that. Especially when you came in there and put on record that you hate police. That was the dumbest thing you could have done. Once you establish belligerence and combativeness and hate, they can take everything you utter and potentially remix it on a potential threat. Fools and their fucking mischievous, ego, prideful bullshit, trying to make a brand and a name for themselves, tricking themselves out of their power and position, not being humble with humility. Your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen?
Get on, man. This guy just keeps getting everything he needs, so you just can't stop making mistakes. God bless you, Chili, dude. You're just getting everything you need, man. I guarantee you he asked God for help before he went to jail. God, can you help me out? He had no clue what was going to happen. It happened to me one time. God, please help me out. Actually, no, you're dealing with courts.
Look at this. This is how you know they're so dumb. They're trying to double down, and then they just reveal they're just some tard trying to make me afraid. I knew that from the beginning. We are warning you, if you drive with no license, you spell license wrong, you'll be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Hello? I've already traveled multiple times, been arrested multiple times, walked out, had warrants put out, and told them I'm not going to be presenting. I'm not returning. So, like, you're a little late in this game right now. I'm worried about CPS. I got Department of Homeland Security showed up the last 2 times I got arrested. A group of feds come in, you know, with the whole deal, right? Like from the top of the top. And he thinks that I'm worried about ACPS bringing charges against me for driving without a license.
That's funny as fuck. That's funny
great.
As fuck.
You can't make this shit up.
Hey,
okay, I'll see you at court. ACPS driving without a license.
I reviewed Chili's thing, and I did see a couple people talk about it. I think they were making more content. I mean, they could end up stiffing him, but when they said, "Oh, he threatened," I mean, he just said, "Oh, she's a tyrant," and da 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 da. But I mean, I think the person who did that video and the others are more on the content drive of the whole chili clout.
You're not getting it, dude. You're not getting it. They're calling it content, and these people already told you. You're uttering words out of your mouth, and you're connected to other people. We're going to take it as inciting violence and terrorism. What did you not get? Dude, why do you think from the beginning when Vice came out of nowhere and said, Pauly Boy's a terrorist, and then lumped me in with a bunch of people who were taking over institutions? I go, this is not me. I'm not doing this. I'm not in combatants with U.S. corporation. I don't hate policy enforcement. You've never once heard me come on here and utter a whole bunch of phrases they could use against me as inciting terrorism or violence or being ahead of a movement. I've done exactly the opposite for just that reason, because I know how they operate.
And J6 optics, you know, as you notice, a lot of these characters we've kind of I've personally said pedo pogo optics, but the J6 optics are attached. No, they again, and that's why the new law H06 or something, I got to pull up, I'll send it to you, is the attack on journalism and free speech. It's going to be
the worst thing that I've done that I know about while I'm doing it, and I'm pretty careful of. The worst thing I've done that they could latch onto is I've made a generalized statement how historically what comes next is civil war. But I've also made the claim every time I say that, you will hear me say, I will not be part of it. I will not run it. I will not lead it. I will not fund it. I will not support it. I'm just talking about objectively as a quote unquote journalist, like DeCastro likes to say. I'm speaking objectively with emotion or not on what the historical context is and what the probability is of cause and effect. These folks like to talk about what they're going to do. They don't stop. They're running a movement. These people need to be stopped, and we hate them. Not advisable. Don't know what your legal counsel attorneys you're giving 50 grand at a pop are telling you. Not advisable, especially when you ain't going to do a motherfucking thing. Let's just call it what it is.
Well,
I could put the gun in your hand and I could have 1,000 people behind you willing to kill or die right there. You ain't doing a motherfucking thing. So you better stop with that projection of false strength. You better stop acting the part of what you think a man is. You better stop uttering words and phrases that when put together make it look and seem like you're running a movement and you want people to be dealt with.
I just put in your backstage HR 6090 or whatever, the newest attack on free speech in America for journalists like you, broadcasters.
It only works like every other act and bill they write up if everybody submits their jurisdiction and standing through contract and then adheres to it. It's the only way every one of these things works. So I really don't. They can write up 1,000 fucking bills.
Consequences for standing up against this, you know, obviously, which would be.
Well, we know that. We're going deeper into fascism, boy. You want me to pull up? It was very interesting. You were on your channel the other day. I saw it in my list, playing videos of the Hitler regime. And just a week before that, I was looking at all the uncut footage that we never got on History Channel, colorized, remastered, of what it looks like to live under fascism and tyranny. And I got to tell you, we're beyond whatever they had going on. We've already surpassed it when it comes to tracking and tracing, when it comes to the centralized banking and corrupt medical system, when it comes to legitimizing that on record using legalities and paperwork. We've already surpassed the Third Reich. It's just not sensationalized. It's just not popularized. We're already there. You got private prisons. You got full-on legitimized slavery. You got lockdown businesses where people were driven out of their livelihood based on having to wear the yellow star. We're already here and beyond it. You got folks being recorded on every fucking street corner and every move they make being under the jurisdiction of a supposed U.S. corporate fascist system. Are you kidding?
Did you see this bill that I put in your backstage, the HR 609? It's going to affect people like you, broadcasters, people who speak.
Yeah, that's fine. They can write up all the claims and complaints. They're not claims, they're complaints and bills and acts and all the other beliefs and nonsense they want. They can put it on record. They still got to effectuate it. And guess what, dude? I live every day knowing what we're living in and where this goes historically. So I have faith to override the fear that I naturally feel, because I know at some point there's a good chance if I live long enough, they're going to come take my body and many others along with our property if you let them get away with it. And based on what we've seen the last 4 years, they're chomping at the bit, licking their chops. Because you folks told them all what they need to know in here, that you ain't going to stand for nothing. You'll give up your own grandmother to go lay in the box for code and policy and die in front of everybody and be humiliated and crushed to their dignity.
When I say we the people, I say this very loosely for legal terms, but there was a wise man that said, and active military, militia, just real on point dude that I talk to all the time. And he and DA too, active DA. I'll just say that much. My whole thing is he said, if you're not on a watch list, you haven't stood up for America. Like in sense, like whether it's clicking on certain links, because even
right, that's where we're at, dude. We're at the point in history where they're keeping lists, they're keeping track, they're watching everybody, they're informing on each other even, and they're doubling, tripling down. Hey, this is a fascist land now. No more universal law, no more rights, no more common law. You guys go along with that? Well, then we're going deeper. Medical experiments, medical tyranny. You know, what won't they do the more that this gets unchecked and unfettered?
I'm glad you brought that video up, because do you think, like, okay, I showed old Holocaust videos, old footage, real shit. Do you think when we get to that point, like Venezuela optic, if we do in a final, I think it'll be more ritualistic, purged out, like, because we're all Hollywooded up, Babyloned up. I think you're right when you say it'll be worse than some of the footage we've seen in those.
Yeah, the Nazis didn't have the technological advancements we see now. They didn't have death rays on every corner pretending to be cell phone towers, right? They didn't get a whole population to take treatments that could potentially kill them or destroy their ability to procreate. You know, they didn't have drones that were able to surveil you from the sky every corner of the lands. We literally have the Third Reich that wasn't beaten. It just expanded its territory and grew in technological capacity.
It was recruited. It was recruited by our government. And
no, it wasn't by our government, Jack. You don't get it. It's power-hungry elitism, control power.
Right.
That's the problem you don't understand. It's not.
No, he does understand that.
Thank you.
And stop talking over him. You're obnoxious and abrasive. Let him fucking speak.
How can you say
you're acting like what he doesn't know? He does know that. What you're not accepting is it's a mirror. It's all of the hall of mirrors. Hello? 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 You keep yelling about hello? Hello? Operator? You keep yelling about pogos and masters when you should be yelling about all the citizen slaves around you, including yourself, who are doing little to nothing to change it. What's more shocking and upsetting? That political, bureaucratic, corrupt, power-hungry scum are slaving everyone, or that everyone's funding it and allowing it? Which is more shocking and concerning?
But you can't stop prophecy. You should know that better than anyone.
It's not about stopping prophecy. You get a choice on who and what you're going to be and serve while you're here till whatever inevitability happens. It's not about beating them. It's about stop beating yourself.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Honest question,
you think I'm fighting these people and trying to overtake them and beat them? I'm not. I'm just going to stop being my own worst enemy. Simple. Okay. I'm going to serve God and the truth as much as possible.
My discernment with you goes, are you just feeding Jack's bullshit to just play on his good side so he likes you? Or are you just really...
No. Do I really ever do that with anyone? When I'm doing that, you can hear the tone in my voice. You presume Jack doesn't know when I'm buttering him up and bullshitting him to bullshit the audience to play the game. And then there's me just being real and shooting straight.
Like Trump or all these politicians, says the comments, he says, like, legal secrets are our governments. We need to work with them, fix it. That's impossible. That's factual.
That's a different conversation, and it's not necessarily impossible. It's just very improbable. Right. And with an attitude and perspective like that, you'll never get anything important done in life, because you'll always say there's a reason to never try and do something that can't be believed can be done.
I'm saying that. I'm saying to be official men,
I agree with that.
The wrenches in the clockwork to stand against it and slow down evil is one thing, but to have the idea of a hug-a-buddy, rainbow bright world, okay, to stop prophecy that's being put in play, okay, that's delusion. That's where I get it. Where like when you come back to him, I don't understand. Are you really feeding into...
Let him interact. He heard you. Let him answer and don't fucking cut him off.
Actually, I think he was asking you, Paul. I'm sorry for interrupting, but Paul has answered your question, Snafu. Your confusion is just... Dude.
Oh, Jack.
Well,
you're making this about an emotional dynamic or a win-loss dynamic. It's very simple. The scripture you keep quoting says you can't fence ride and be lukewarm. So I'm not. I'm choosing to serve the truth and God as much as I'm capable and able to and perceptive of. Whether I win, lose, draw, get killed, or put in prison is not up for the discussion. You do what's true and what's right because it's true and it's right, not because you're expecting an outcome. That's why all you tards are enslaved, because you have outcome-based slave mind education. You don't ever wake up and do what's true and what's right unless there's a fucking benefit for you in it. And God forbid there's a motherfucking detriment. You definitely ain't gonna do it. That's not a man. That's a punk, coward, slave, bitch, addict. Get it through your head.
That's what I've been saying. America
wasn't explaining you.
Dude. If you would listen, America has, unfortunately, because of the brainwashing and profitable engineering, America has not become the home of the brave. It's the cowardly who choose to obey. We've got this idiocy of oppression in our governments and all of this economic nonsense because good men and women have been afraid of the suffering that might happen if they get involved. So it's actually self-sabotage. And the world doesn't even realize it. What America has become is not worth dying for. But the people are.
That's where you would go now, Snaps. See, you're kind of confused on where to talk and when not.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with Jack even having that dream.
Around the actual optics of what he portrays and his true ideals and what he feels could change. Like I've heard him multiple times say, "I'd like to talk to the president. I'd like to talk to these people." Like, see, you shake your head, yes. And you really feel you could stop wars in legal secrets or even get some thought in their mind to think about it.
Hey, Snafu.
Yeah, you have no power.
Snafu.
No money.
Rather than Snafu.
Okay,
rather than
money.
Snafu.
Okay, delivering food to war zones, delivering aid to war zones. Do you know that's a thing? Cause the war.
Snafu.
And then act like we're there for the people. You know, bomb the fuck out of them and then feed them and give them medicine.
See how he doesn't want answers.
Yeah.
No, it's just you're so delusional, dude. You have this camp cupcake
Snafu.
I know idea that you're Jesus and God and can stop prophecy.
I know you want me to think that I'm helpless and hopeless, just like you, but I'm not. Said that. Well, look at what you're trying to convince me of. Listen to your words.
Many. Do you not read the chat when people talk to you, Jack?
Hey. See, there you go. You
not read most of the chat when people talk about
Snafu.
You or to you.
Stop thinking opinions are important, dude.
They are.
Yours isn't. Your opinion is not important.
I've been trying to tell him that for years now at this point.
I know. He thinks it's important because he thought it, so he's selfish. He doesn't want to let his opinions go. It's like a little child.
What opinion?
Right, can you find the middle ground of going, is it kind of a lofty goal? Is it maybe even an indicator of something Jack can look at that might be a theme in his life? Okay. But to completely write it off like he has no value, he has no potential, he has no voice, he can't make a change, I think is kind of short-sighted. Maybe I'm a dreamer just like he is, but I've seen it in my own life. I've seen folks who've changed their ways based on interacting with me and me not wavering and them becoming inspired again to faith to do what they know is true and right. I've seen it. I've lived it.
I'm not saying he can't change. I'm not saying he doesn't bring value or non-value. I'm saying he's also a liability to the actual truth of the optics in play and God's agenda, not Jack Talcott's.
Your optics. I'm a threat to your optics.
No, because look at the chat again. Go read the chat.
See, again, you're speaking opinions.
For how many years, Jack? Not Snafu Snaps, but many.
Snafu.
Most.
You're seeking approval, so you're finding enablers, dude. Snafu, you
decipher and discern.
I love you. I give up. I surrender. You win.
I'm not telling you that, Jack. It's just, why are you in denial?
It's like a looping song that just won't stop. I hear Snafu's voice just going on and on. Snafu, here's the deal. Whether I make it to the president or not, my other goal is to try and help make the United States Postal Service a better place to work for the employees across the nation. I haven't lost sight of that either. So that could be coupled with restoring justice to my reputation and, you know, restore the property that I'm in. You know, I could pay that debt to the bank in the full if I could get, well, I believe it's a reasonable settlement. Well, we'll see what the future brings. But Snafu, yeah, the people in Congress, I think they're doing an unacceptable job. And so why not? Let's ask them some direct questions in public records, so we and not so much a speech. I actually want conversations with these people. Why can they not use diplomacy to end wars?
Yeah, see, again, like there's a fine line of where we can disagree here, or where you do whatever you want. But where I choose to disagree is in the belief that the answer is not going to come through representatives. We never had any business opting into this democratic construct to begin with and signing off on other men who are obviously politically money motivated to represent us and our interests. It's absolutely absurd and ridiculous and not necessary. So, you know, with that said, if you're going to live in this world and be part of this culture and society, even if it's indirectly or not by choice, well, then it would make sense at that point, if you concluded you're not going to leave it and recreate the original somewhere else, then you have to try to compel them to serve your and others' best interests. If not, they're just going to loot everything, kill your ass, and administrate your property and your children's property and pretty much all the land. So we gotta pick a side here. Either you're going to compel your representatives to do what's true and what's right for themselves, us, and everyone based on the law of the land that's been now codified and democratized, or you're going to completely correct your status and standing, opt out of that contract, and go live on the land and create a localized community and let the rest of the world burn in hell if that's what they choose to do. Because it doesn't seem like they're really listening or care, and it doesn't seem like they really want to actually do the work. It seems like they want to profiteer from doing evil. So it's a great place for them to be in government from the beginning of time. It all makes sense.
What I'm about to say could create a monster just like you created out of Jack Talcott. Okay, seriously. And
you are the monster that's been created out of the media somehow.
Monster here with Jack. But Jack, I'm going to tell you something. Media relation pogo optics. You're squatting in this house. You should call the media up and go run for some kind of office, whether it's Spokane mayor, governor, and use the fact that you're squatting in your house for media relations. I bet you drama sells. You will get votes. You could probably create a media buzz because who the fuck is this guy squatting in the house running for a political position? And maybe you could get your ass in there.
It's funny you say that. That's similar to an old idea that I had. See, when I was still in active duty, when I was still on the rolls as a postal employee, I was fed up with the way the nation was, and I was I started exploring how could I register as a presidential candidate back in 2018, because I would be doing so in violation as an act of protest and to gain publicity for what I was trying to say, because for a federal employee, which is what I was, it's a violation to actually even run for political office. So I thought by violating the law, I'd get some attention, but turns out that's a pretty expensive position to run for. So I didn't.
Can you tell us why the post office thinks you're a terrorist?
Yeah. He just pointed out exactly what this has all become. This is just one big grandstanding corporate endeavor, and they won't accept it. Right? You have to literally put money into running for president.
Yep.
It's like you have to campaign and market and promote and spend money to make money. That's all this is. This is more business endeavor. These people don't give a fuck about themselves, their land, their country. They don't believe in God or know that it exists. They don't know the order of creation exists. They're too busy projecting their own wants and desires and worldly needs onto the objective simulation experience. It's obvious.
Who was that guy, Michael Moore, that put a plant and registered a plant for a mayor position or something? Like, because legally you can, and he showed the world that
Why not? I've already did the bit. If we elected all of these people instead of these people elected chimpanzees, the government would immediately improve. Not because anything would get done, but what would be stopped is all the evil corruption and frauding and grifting that they're doing incessantly while pretending to help. So if you just elected a whole Congress and president as chimpanzees, everything would immediately improve. We'd have way more money than we need to redistribute to all the programs, right? Nancy Pelosi wouldn't have 1,000x what she's worth yearly over a 10-year career. Think of all the extras you'd have to then redirect to all these entitlement programs they're claiming to make but not giving to. It's absurd. It's laughable. But again, that would then require folks on a local and state level and nationwide level to have a community, to network, to come up with systems and circumstances to distribute value as would be commonsensical or appropriate or as needed. Holy shit, it would require us taking an active role in our community affairs and our nation's government, which most pathetic, slaved out, burnt out, drugged and alcoholed out slaves don't want to do. They don't want to have to take a care and an active interest. They're already too overworked at their corporate job to care about their damn family and their rights, let alone taking an active interest in governance. And that's why we don't have a republic or natural rights generally anymore. We have nothing but fascism and slavery and genocide and corruption.
Did you see my fascism?
I blame the people, like George Carlin said. Maybe it's the public that sucks. That you keep blaming whoever's at supposedly the top, who you all keep paying for and electing and appropriating toward what they say. Maybe it's not them. Maybe the people of this land at this point suck on the whole and don't give a fuck, and they get the government they deserve.
It's the land of the cowards and apathetic.
Well, it's also the land of the discernment, deceived, and the ones who... It's like that old video that Paul was talking about. I posted the Holocaust shit. They showed how they took things from, and then they gave them clothes and foods and things that were fucked up and blah blah to make it even worse. But they thought, oh yeah, they're helping. It's kind of like today's generation, like that Prime shit that Logan Paul, Logan Paul. I'll put him on blast.
You're giving these folks too much credit. The average person is exactly like, almost beneath even, a animal like chimpanzee that's desperate in a cage. They don't give a fuck. They know the government's not helping them. They're just selfish and want more. So whoever, whatever, puts a hand out with more in it, they're going to grasp for. They don't have any personal connection or belief that government's going to help them and save them. They're just fucking selfish and self-centered and want more. And in their world, government's how you get it.
You're right. Easy peasy, fast, you know.
They know the people supposedly giving them shit and helping them are also out to fuck them. It's just a testament to how codependent, desperate, needy, and valueless and principleless they are. Lacking in principle. They'll work with anyone and be a part of any group to get a little more for themselves at the cost of anyone else's shit.
It's the world we were born into. The communities are divided, the families are divided, and when everyone's alone, they either become fearful or selfish. And you're right. There's a lot of people who are just what you say, but I also do know there's a lot of people that don't have any other options than what that that system or the government is offering because of handicap, disability, real life situations, whatever. It's corrupt what we've got. Our city, state, national, all of it. It's all corrupt, but it's what we've got. And I don't know. I just know, well, people are the problem, but when people get out of the way, people are the solution. And I think we are the solution. That's what I know that's what Paul's been doing. Sharing the truth, right? The truth is what's going to free us from being the land of the enslaved, right? And that's what America has become. We've become enslaved to these ideas of the banking system and the ease of commerce.
Do you know what NWO stands for?
New World Order, I'm assuming.
World. It's not just our government. It is
Right.
the world. Elitism.
Right. The whole world is
right, because the problem and solution lies in consciousness and awareness. That's why I came into this speaking about conscious and awareness, not because I want to be perceived as a guru like you always accuse me of when you're annoyed with me. It's because I ascertain this is not an American problem. Historically, this is a human problem. And the root of human problem and solution is consciousness and awareness, or lack thereof.
And that makes sense.
It is the key. And I don't know, Paul. Let's bring it back if we can. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Dude, let's get back to me, Warthog creature.
Right.
Can Jack sing to you in a Maryland?
Hold on, I gotta thank some folks for their contributions here. Please be quiet. We got Rob G. Thank you for your contribution. He says, if you live till 70, you're at the pinnacle of life. HB. I don't know what that means. Oh, happy birthday. Okay, yeah, I'm a little slow on the uptake there. Larion, thank you for your contribution. He says, for suspicious skepticism, happy birthday, brother. George McElroy says, HBD, man, appreciate you. Thank you, Mr. McElroy. Steve S., thank you for your contribution. No message. Mr. Shively says, HBD. I'm the HBD kid today. Appreciate you and all you do, sir. Thank you, Mr. Jimmy Shively. And we have Mimi. Says, happy born day, Paul. Wishing you abundance. Thank you. You folks are a blessing to myself. And yeah, it's much appreciated. Your thoughts, Mr. Jack Talcott or others, before we move on here? We got to get to at least some. We got to finish the DeCastro thing, because in there somewhere is apparently a felony threat to Miss Zimmerman that they're now all latching onto. So we never finished that because Snafu did yesterday what he's doing today, oddly enough. So we're going to get back to that potentially, unless Mr. Talcott or Mr. O'Shea. Mr. O'Shea, you've been very quiet over there, not only today, but lately. Got anything?
Nothing. I could bring something up, but it's not really on topic.
Like how people just gave me a whole bunch of stuff, so I should probably help you out with your gas tank over there, so you get back to living some kind of a human existence and not being so pathetic.
Oh, the gas tank. I don't even know what the fucking problem is, dude. Fuck mechanics anyways, dude. Paying people to fix your car. Fuck cars, dude. Bullshit.
Right. Fuck leaf blowers, fuck cars, and fuck the mechanics who have to repair them. They got you over a barrel, man. They're like worse than heroin dealers, because you got to keep going back and keep going back, and you never get out. It's like, okay, I got another car, I'm out. No, you're not. Back to the mechanic at some point.
Yeah, it's a
this is why I say, man, just get a horse. I'm telling you. Like Bryan O'Shea on the horse. It's a vibe anyway. It's a whole thing, right? You're majestic. You're up high. You know, it's like kind of archetypal. Takes it back to the original man. Snafu, please. You're insufferable. Yeah, you know, get the horse, O'Shea. You can travel freely on a horse. Probably you can't even put a plate on that or get insurance.
I think I want a donkey, dude, because they had National Donkey. They got a donkey museum here. There's like a donkey society thing that like saves like they rescue donkeys, wild donkeys. But dude, yeah, jackass, dude. I should be riding a jackass.
Do the Jesus Vegas strip thing.
Maybe you can maybe you can ride Snafu around town so he can exert all that energy he brings on this panel. You can kind of get some of that out that way. You just saddle him up.
Like piss like your car.
No, he'd be like one of those Chinese dudes that I sit in the back and he like lifts the little and he runs around.
Do I get a little bucket?
Yeah, rickshaw, Snafu rickshaw.
Yeah, the rickshaw.
As long as I got a bucket, I'm cool.
Fire Drake says happy breath day. He's doing a play on words there. Thank you for your being. Thank you, Mr. Fire Drake. Appreciate you, sir. Yeah, that's animal exploitation, Paul. Not very vegan. Here we go. Animal exploitation. You could argue the same thing about the way I date women. I pretty much get on top of them, I mount them, I break them of their worldly ways, and then we continue on the rest of our life with some level of mutually beneficial existence and experience. See, animal husbandry is a lot like actual husbandry. So if you're going to say that's like abuse and demeaning, well, then I can never date a woman again either. There's a lot less for me to do while I'm here in this incarnation. The more you guys speak.
That's fucking savage.
Dude, how fucking retarded are cars, dude? Cars are the biggest conspiracy fuck show ever, dude. Fuck cars, dude. I mean, just the way they're designed. Do we need to go back to the Model T? It had one tool, dude. One tool. People used to make their own fuel. That's what Prohibition was about. It wasn't about drinking alcohol. It was about motherfuckers making their own fucking fuel on a piece of land. They were going after the farmers, dude. Being self-sufficient. Fuck these cars that are fucking impossible to fix. Bullshit ass. No one could do anything. And then they're getting worse and worse. They're just becoming more and more plugged in the matrix. You stupid fucking rickshaw running fucking moron. Put your Chinese fucking outfit on. Run me around town. Piece of shit. These cars are retarded, dude. Anyone that goes in and pays all this money to have a fucking car fixed, dude. What kind of man pays another man to do anything with his fucking property like a car? These fucking farmers can't even work on their own equipment.
Isn't that what you're doing?
Fucking jail. Shut the fuck up, Talcott. You fucking fireplace living piece of shit, delusional motherfucker.
Brian's not happy with himself right now.
Jack, will you let Bryan live with you?
Of course.
Fuck that. I'm not going to your fucking house. Bullshit. I'm not going to fucking Pie's farm.
Not with a broken car.
Dude, it'll cost me $1,000. I'll get there. The gas is just spurting out everywhere. It's gonna be up in flames, dude. Anyone brings a match around my car, dude.
Brian. Oh, Brian. Life is easier when you don't hate everyone.
Shut up, you idiot.
Who said that, Jack?
These fucking cars. I need to get me a donkey.
O'Shea, that's good content though. Like if we just have you out on the land, like there's wild horses out here that run around. You just get a donkey or a horse and you jump on it, right? You jump on it, see what it does, try to break it, and then see if you can like continue a relationship with the animal long term. I think that'd be really good content. And then if it works, you got a new mode of transportation that never really breaks down till it dies, I guess.
It's not hard to break a horse, Brian. Get a
you don't want a horse because the horse have them weak ass ankles. The horses are like too elegant. I'm telling you, donkeys are geniuses, dude. Donkeys are so fucking smart. That word jackass, another conspiracy, dude. Oh, it's a jackass. What a dumbass, dude. Dude, donkeys are fucking awesome, dude. They got a goddamn museum here. Donkeys on a back to the land movement are the fucking shit, dude. They'll pull shit around, fucking transport you, dude. Do anything you fucking want, dude. Donkeys are fucking awesome, bro. They got a bad reputation, dude. Fuck that shit. Yeah,
camels back to the United States. Why don't you get a camel? Start riding a camel around. Like
fucking
Jesus.
Camels in fucking the desert, dude. Hell yeah, dude. Go to Vegas, dude. Yeah. This desert conditions, mesquite, dude. Camel would fucking work.
You get an exotic animal thing easily, dude. You could just cough wrong and probably get it. So you could get a fucking camel, dude. The fuck?
God. Here we go. Better not be a donkey in this fucking video.
Dear Sally Lou, this is it. They'll be shipping us out soon. From the equipment, it looks like the South Pacific. This is confidential. So I'm sneaking this past the censor.
So yeah, apparently that's an excerpt from what we came across, which was a World War II era cartoon that's all about a guy named Private Snafu, and it's all about like pogos and censoring and going to war and him being an idiot. It's pretty good.
I posted it the other day. The other one though, the documentary on the Holocaust, that shit's real, man. I recommend everyone watch that one.
All right, I got to thank Jeremiah Johnson. Says I'm still listening and learning. Another gift, sir. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. You're a peach. All right, let's get back to it, man. We got to get on with some of the docket here. You guys are just fucking rambling on. You pissed off Talcott again on some level. Good thing he's a loving, caring, forgiving. Snafu, please. You're stepping on me and shitting on the cake again. Just let me finish. Take a breath. We got 3 hours to fill here. You're rushing. You're rushing and stepping all over me. Your timing is terrible. Please. O'Shea, what do you want to do here? You want the Castro making threats to Zimmerman apparently now, I'm told? We got to finish that. It does, you know what, forget it. Doesn't matter what you want. We're finishing the video because we started yesterday and we didn't finish it for precisely the same reason that we haven't got to it today yet. So let's get to it.
Shut up.
Shut up, right.
No. No, Judge, I do not accept your obvious bias and unprincipled, over-the-top, despotic jailing of me. Look at her face and memorize the face of injustice. Every single jailer I've told the story to agrees with me that this is unfair. One jailer told me that he's seen real criminals sentenced to 30 days for creating victims of violence, victims of theft, victims who they left damages on. As known across the country as I am, I'm going to make Ann Zimmerman famous for being a tyrant. She is wrong, and she's a bad person as far as I'm concerned. And what have I asked for the people? To petition her, write her a letter, and tell her she's wrong. Ooh, that's just terrifying. I'm in a damn dungeon. I'm in a place where they strip-searched me and locked me in a tiny cell for 5 days and threatened to hurt me if I twisted or turned in any direction as 4 men looked up my butt. Spread your butt cheeks. Oh, but Ann can't get a letter. Petition says she's not going to read and won't open, but she will look at the mail deliverer and act how pained she is as she rolls her eyes, and she can't believe she's getting petitioned and she's receiving letters. Of course you are, Ann. Poor little baby. You did this, Ann Zimmerman. You did this. Look at the face of a tyrant and memorize it. She is.
This is his active judge.
And I hope you get dirty looks. I hope you wonder how many people memorize your face. And then when they leave from you, they go running to their spouse and they say, oh my God, isn't that awful judge who jailed the guy for filming a cop? And then the spouse replies, oh yeah, that is. Did you say anything to her? And then the spouse says, no, I just kind of recoiled. I wonder how she sleeps at night. And then the husband replies, yeah, that journalist scraped her cases and found that she didn't put anybody else in jail for the exact same charges. And then the wife says, that's right. What did that journalist do about that? Well, I don't know, to be honest. That's why I'm making this op-ed right now. How do you get justice? Well, first I did this. I refused to shut up and take it. I publicized her, just like the judge in the newspaper this morning. And now I ask you, what is my legal recourse? What can we do? Oh, I'm definitely suing her for violating my Fourth Amendment right when she illegally searched me before court, as well as the bailiff who assaulted me when he snatched the phones out of my hands. I'll have the 10 cases before mine that show that she's lost her principles. We know 3 of them, and the most recent one, that she didn't put any of them in jail, and she put me in a real-life rape cage. Oh, I'm so sorry, you didn't know? Just a week or 2 ago, the entire South Tower was on lockdown, and we were on lockdown to our beds. Someone got raped. A man was raped by a man or other men. We don't know the whole story. It's all rumors.
And you know what the sick part of this is? They'll say that I'm a leader for rights, freedom, and all the rest of it because they think that I'm going to like enable their lack of understanding. If they knighted me and said, like God said, Paulie, you have to stand in for one of these administrators and take the Castro to court based on what you know about this system, I have to do exactly what they do now, right? So I just obscure the truth of it like they do, and you still get the same treatment because I'm going to say it just like this, like they would. Viewing the record and the course of events, I find that the court did not violate Mr. DeCastro's Fourth Amendment. You know why they're going to say that and why I'd say that? Because they didn't violate your Fourth Amendment. You submitted it. You gave it up. You're in contract. You submitted it at the door. You turned your pockets out at the door and gave all your shit up. They already searched you once. Once you submitted your rights and you put yourself in that corporate jurisdiction and you appeared as the person, you lost your rights. Now we're dealing with privileges and benefits. Now we're dealing with Social Security. Now we're dealing with somebody's got to pay. Right? So like I told you, you guys are so dumb that you're operating in the corporate world and you never once offered to just make recompense financially. You never once offered them legal debt notes. Oh, we broke a code? Well, all crimes are commercial under your system. That's Title 53. So basically all you're saying is here, someone generated a bill that has to be paid. What do we owe you? You never even approached it that way. Because you want to fight about you got rights at a commercial court with administrative jurisdiction. You're a fucking tard. And you won't listen to me. You won't accept the contracts and the words and terms and etymology. And you won't accept you don't have natural rights in there because you're not a natural person. You're appearing as the corporate person, the corporate fiction, the legal entity. You submitted your rights at the door. So if you put me on that bench, I'm going to rule what seems to be like to you in favor of them. No, it's in favor of the truth and what the record shows. And no, they're not going to tell you that, just like I wouldn't. I'd let you figure it out. No, all I could tell you is we did not find that the court violated Mr. DeCastro's rights. I'm doing you a service by telling you the rest of the story. They didn't violate your rights. You gave them the fuck up like every other slave here. You only have you to blame, buddy boy. So stop looking for an enemy everywhere. Stop. You're gone. Goodbye. Every time I fucking take a breath to continue, you keep chattering under and over me. Go take your fucking medication. Go do your own broadcast, counter mine, and give your perspective if you can't fucking wait. I'd love to see you at court too, because you're going to get fucking filleted and destroyed. I'd bet anything on it. The difference is when you go to court, you'll be smart enough there or afraid enough to not run your fucking mouth and keep piping up. Because you know they'll have your ass right back in that cell in 3 seconds. You do it here, what you won't do there. And if you did what you do here, there, they'd have you double slaved. So I don't know why you don't show me the same respect you'd show a fucking court unless you have no sense here or there. Maybe that's why you did years in prison for a mistake.
You said something that I didn't want to forget because you said on the record.
Well, then write it down. I get what you're saying because I'm the same way. We're probably very much similar more than we are different. That doesn't change what needs to happen here.
No, I
write it down.
I didn't want to forget it because it was back at the start what you said. But
I'm not interested in what you want or don't want and what you forget or not. You're cutting me off from talking and making me forget what I'm saying and my stream of consciousness speaking from the heart because you don't want to forget what's rolling around your little head. Write it the fuck down and wait till I'm done speaking and then present it. That could probably solve all of our problems here for the last few years if you took the least bit of initiative and used common sense. Get a fucking legal pad and a pen, and while I'm talking, write down fucking bullet points. And then you can get 5 minutes to go over the damn bullet points. You watch Mr. Talcott do it every day, and you insult him and mock him. Maybe he's got some answers for you, if not for himself. Your thoughts? Snafu creature? And no, I don't like going off on you, and I know it's embarrassing to both of us, but apparently it has to be done over and over again.
I get it. All I'm saying is this was media relations from the start. I pointed out the camera thing. Someone got those cameras in there. He cried. I'm noticed on this phone call, because this is the first time I'm hearing it right now. He's in a county jail. He just said, okay, whether he rebuttals down the road, tries to make a bag off this or not, okay, blah, blah, who knows? Okay, he's saying certain key words on purpose. He said a guy got razored. Dude, motherfuckers are going to say a guy got, shanked, a guy got fucking, cut up. But like the way he presented that, and then he even went as far as saying getting rid. County jails are probably way more locked down than prison. That's why people want to go to the prisons, because you got more freedom, so to speak. But yeah, it's a little more sketch. But no, this motherfucker's saying a lot of weird optics with the county jail.
Is anyone getting any points to anything he's saying right now? Because I'm not getting any. He mentioned 4 different dynamics and made no point about any of them.
You believe that what he's saying on purpose, scripted.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm focusing specifically on the quote unquote optics of the legal, lawful, the spiritual, the metaphysical, how it meets the physical, and how we interact and get a result. That's what the most important thing. I don't care. Are you saying he's not in jail right now? That this is that deep? It goes that deep? That he's in Bryan's basement pretending to be in jail, or is he in fucking jail right now?
No, I'm saying he's saying certain keywords like, "Oh, I'm the victim. Someone got shanked," or he said razored and raped. In a county jail.
It's like we're talking to a retarded person, and I got to pull this up. One of these days, I have to pull up snaps to the broadcast on his channel, and it's a completely different person. He's able to ask questions. He gives cogent answers. He yields. He makes sense. It's like he comes here and it's a completely alternate, retarded personality. Can I get the version of you on your broadcast nobody watches here? Is there like too much fear and pressure here for you that you just break up into like little pieces? But over there, you're a normal person and you have some like flow and direction. You come here and it's just completely addled and all over the place. Maybe it's too much for you here. It's too much pressure. Could 123 of you leave and can we get down to 6 people? He seems to do really well when there's 6 live viewers watching. Let's just stick to the point, Snafu, okay? I know that you're like sick of all the pogos and probably even me for being a pogo's hornet's nest, but try to stay on the topic. The topic is, how do we uphold the law and rights? And then when we go to court, present, if we have to, quote unquote, why are we appearing? Nobody knows. No one cares to know. But if you're going to present, how do we present in a way that gives you credibility and reputation and respect on record and adheres to the truth and upholds the law and rights? That's the topic pretty much generally here when it comes to DeCastro and the rest of these folks. Not optics of he used the word razor and not stabbed. I don't know what that means. What's the code there? Like, what's the significance of him saying razor and not stabbed?
Okay, it's for legal. It's for legal down the road, man. I was a victim. I fucking need fucking damages because I was put in a place where the people were getting raped and stabbed and murdered up in county jail.
Right. Yeah. So then just say that. Just say these guys have a habit of playing the victim when we all know what happens when you film the police and stand for rights and freedoms and also don't know who you are on record and how to correct the record and stand on it. They're playing the victim as if they didn't know that a lot of us are going to wind up and already have gone to jail and go to jail over and over again where it's not too pretty and not too nice and kind there. We get that.
Right. That's all I'm pointing out is he's saying
right, but you're not doing it succinctly and coherently in a way where we can take something away from it. You're just jumping all over the place saying your own version of keywords that make no sense. Razor, Castro, jail. Optics, and I'm like, what?
He's his language. I'll leave it at that. He's on purpose.
Yeah, you could have just said he's acting like a fake ass bitch and don't think that we see right through it and know ourselves, which some of us do. So we know why other people do what they do and act the way they do. It's like the cornerstone of psychology and sociology and how it works is if you get some inkling of understanding of nature and nurture and self, you can apply that to other selves and you can deduce why they're doing what they're doing and not doing other things, right? It's kind of like why I keep on the sticking point of why don't any of these folks who have all the money and all the numbers and keep yapping for publicity never correct the record and their status and actually uphold the law and rights? No, that's soft sit mumbo jumbo, or it's too scary for us, right? Because you're avoiding the obvious truth. You want to do it your way, the way every other person like you has done it, and it doesn't work. You could argue what I and others are doing doesn't work. We seem to have better results than you. Guess what? Even if we had worse results than you, we still get the opportunity and the experience of being our own best ally and speaking for ourselves and having a voice. That's invaluable at this time. If you have to do a 180 one way or the other, it's at least better to do the 180 knowing you presented at court. You spoke for yourself. You put your claim on record. You stood your square and on your conviction. You can't trade that for all the money or all the quote unquote fake ass freedom in the world. That's what we do this for. You do this and live as a man. So when the time comes, you can say, this is what I do. This is why I do it. I believe this is what being a man is. And I'm not willing to trade that for nobody at this venue or any other venue. Then they're going to decide what's going to happen, like they do with everybody. And you get to decide if you comply with that or not. Quite frankly, there's nothing stopping somebody. I know that it scares everyone to just like the idea of not complying and obeying. But if you're going to go there and not submit your rights and somehow they let you in and you're there for special presentment and they say, you're going to jail today, there's nothing stopping you from saying, well, that's your belief and your opinion. You better make it happen physically, not signing the paper and then walking the fuck out. No, you guys sit there in a suit. They pass you the paper and say, hey, you're going to start jail term today. And you sign the damn paper and hand it back to them. And then they arrest you. There's nothing stopping you from saying you're just a man or woman in a costume and you just made a determination and I'm innocent until proven guilty. And you haven't proven any guilt here today based on me actually committing a crime, doing loss, injury, and harm. So I'm walking out that door and no, I'm not signing any papers. And if you want to arrest me without my consent, well, then maybe or maybe not, I'm not resisting. Because again, I don't resist. I don't contend I'm going to physically fight them, although the Constitution and the court of record has on file that you have a right to defend yourself from unlawful arrest. There's been many folks who shot police and fought them, and they've been exonerated. Because based on the facts of the matter, objectively, the philosophy and foundations of law, they were wrong. Just having a costume on in a position doesn't make you correct and true and right when it comes to the facts of the matter. Nobody told you to sign that paper. Nobody told you to voluntarily comply and turn around and let them put handcuffs on you. Nobody also told you got to fight them and resist them either. Just say, I'm leaving, not coming back. None of this is legitimate to me. And just because some woman in a costume made a determination here today does not make it accurate and true. You don't do that. You sign the damn papers, which literally is voluntary contracting that you're saying you're signing a paper agreeing to become state property. I don't sign those papers, even if they're going to arrest me and take me. Why would I put my damn signature on that paper legitimizing it? You're insane. You guys are insane. You do the same shit over and over expecting different results when the obvious outcome is going to be more code policy-based slavery and chosen suffering for you. And rather than you just do what's common sense and obvious, not sign the papers, not show up, if they come and get you and they make you present at that court to make the distinction between a natural person and a legal person, leave and surrender the rest. No, you keep complying. You keep obeying. You keep intercoursing with. You keep arguing with. You keep being combative with. You keep projecting onto and rejecting. There's your fucking problem in yourself and in life. You're just showing it at the court. It's called personality disorder. Starts with self, ends with self, and then you bring that to every venue and every relationship. It's like the cornerstone of what the fuck I do here. The revelation of actualized and realized self versus false self and sense of self that you've been given by your non-nurturing culture and society. Yeah, that's the difference. Maybe God and the devil will give you safe passage when it recognizes you're acting from pure intention motive with a conviction in your heart and you're objectively true and right and honorable. Maybe you'll get safe passage. Until then, good luck. Good luck dressing up like them, voting, paying the tax, signing all the papers, agreeing to the contracts, arguing like they would, horribly, by the way, and hiring other people to speak for you and acting like you're not going to get slaved into fascism. You're kidding yourself. And then when it happens, you find more excuses and justifications and bullshit business-based gambits to run to just avoid the obvious. You failed. You're losing. You're an embarrassing presentment. You're not real and true. You don't have pure intentions and motives. And you think that other folks can't see right through you and make a character assessment of you as a dishonorable, bad faith slave. They can, so can I, and they have a different role to use code and policy to take what's yours. And you made it so motherfucking easy for them, I gotta tell you. They can't pimp right and they can't hoe right. That's why we're in this position.
But don't blame the guards. I don't blame them at all. There are some people in here that are very, very bad, and that's where she put me. We're in lockdown because the guy got raped. Why am I in a rape cage? Who is the victim of my crime? What restitution is due? Where is the damages that I must fix? Let's take a look at Brandon Durk, the man who I called a little doggy. He said he was in fear for my life as I pointed my camera at him. Oh my God, how far have we lost ourselves in the name of officer safety? This is the reason why I always talk about Terry versus Ohio. We still must answer the question, how do we get justice? I will make Ann Zimmerman famous. She's going to go on the cover of my book. The title is The Face of Tyranny. Subtitle is What Can Be Done About the Unprincipled Judges in America, a real question for every state legislature. Further, I've written solutions like jail panels to determine if a person should actually be put in a potential rape cage. But what's my legal recourse? I'm in a freaking jail, and there is no victim. There is no crime. All we have is a thug cop and a vindictive, hateful judge. Oh, let's stop pretending like Ann Zimmerman is not a cop lover. She's completely in love with cops. She wanted to hurt me to get a point for the cops. Don't be fake. Ann loves cops like a fat kid loves cake. She gets a tingle up her tyrannical spine when a cop in uniform walks in. She does. She married a cop, didn't she? Now, Ann took it personally. What makes her knees weak, I openly despise. But let me tell you something else. I also despise beats. I hate them. But if you eat beats in front of me, I'm not going to throw you in a cage. That's how victimless of an infraction of the law that I was accused of doing, and I wasn't even guilty of that. It will be clearly depicted in my appeal. Screenshot. I was standing here at this point, and freeze frame, go forward a few seconds, I'm standing here. Meaning
I can't even get through 10 seconds without it becoming overwhelmingly obvious what this kid's problem is, and he won't take the solution. You're not here to hate cops. You're not here to hate, period. If you do choose to hate in this realm, don't be surprised when it's mirrored back at you in a lesson. Did you see Paulie Boy, the guy who you all went to get to be your content? Did you see me hating cops on the side of the road? Did you see me projecting hate onto them? Or did you see me showing them the care and the love that their fathers never did, that God continues to, that they reject? Do you not get this? What it means to be an honorable, good faith man? That's why you folks need Jeebus and the story of it. That's why you need the scripture. Because you can't even come to an apprehension of what it means to be a loving, caring, honorable, good faith man who's unwavering in truth and not acting out of belligerence like a broken child. Okay, so we're not here to hate. You're damn sure not going to get anywhere hating policy enforcement because you can't do anything to them or with them to equalize. Your only source of power is your faith and the word of truth. That's what you saw from me with Valdez and other cops. That's why I get a different energy in the room and a different respect and response, because they see my heart like the creator does. Shaitan knows your heart, knows you're a bullshitter, knows you're a fake and a fraud and a grifter and a liar, knows you're dishonorable and bad faith. It's not going to give you safe passage. It's going to say, you're mine, boy. I know that heart anywhere. It's one of mine. You're a child of your daddy, and I'm going to slave you, boy. You got that heart of the creator and you choose to love despite all of what they do to you and say about you, you're going somewhere in this life. If anything, you'll be able to mitigate your suffering here. Even if you don't wind up going anywhere, you'll mitigate your own self-chosen suffering by choosing true love and care over the fear and the division and the hate and the retribution and the vengeance. And I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to show you and I'm not going to stop. You're warring against yourself and the truth again. You're spinning in your folly and mischief and foolishness. This is why you need the Tao, the way to the way, because it'll elucidate exactly what it is I'm talking, the middle way, the gray area. You're too stuck in the black and white and polarity. You folks are bipolar. This is why they give you the yin and yang symbolism, because most folks are stuck in overly negative, overly positive swing, instead of the gray area right down the middle, walking in the way in neutrality and acceptance of what is, and then redirection in truth. Waiting The thing is waiting. This is how we end wars and legal secrets, by stop lying to ourselves and each other and stop being at war with ourselves and therefore each other. Hate never once conquered hate. Only love conquered hate. I'm pretty sure the Tao and the sayings of the Buddha put that forth. And no, that's not guruing Snafu Snaps and others. That's the reality that you'll come to know. If you keep choosing enough of your own suffering long enough, like I and others have, you'll learn what it means to choose love, like Mr. Talcott says, rather than hate, because you have no other option. If you continue to choose hate, you destroy yourself and everything you're a part of. That's the lesson most folks don't want to learn here. They got too much ego and pride. Just like the Castro said yesterday, I'm growing in my pride. That's the problem here. That's what I'm worried about. You haven't chosen enough of your own suffering and humiliation yet. You'll get it, buddy boy. Maybe a couple stints on heroin, right? Couple more jail sentences, couple rehab stints. Maybe you lose all your friends and family. Maybe you go like 5-10 years without working because you can't, because you're so fucking broken, but have a false sense of self you want to live through, right? Oh, I know the walk. I know it very well. Why I do what I do the way that I do it. Because I have a true care and a true love and a true faith, and I'm not going to entertain my own bullshit for too long, let alone anyone else's. And I contend the God of creation, your father, isn't either. Got exactly what you need planned for you to learn quickly, relatively in the scheme of things, right? Because time's an illusion. Go ahead, Mr. Talcott. I saw your hand was up there.
Hey, life is the best teacher. And he'll learn, Castro will learn humility either by choice, or he will be shown humility. And I think he's finding it. You'd think he would, but hey.
Again, Mr. Constitutional Law Scholar didn't, I guess, study law enough, American jurisprudence and the maxims of law. He who wants equity must first come with equity. That means you show up to court with a loving, caring, forgiving demeanor of good faith. If you show up belligerent and combative saying, fuck the pigs, I hate all cops, they got something for you that you're going to whine and cry and complain about. You give what you get in this life. Stop whining, it ain't fair. You sound like a little child who needs a daddy. And you do need a daddy because you testified on the phone call your father wasn't in your life. You're another one with your mama's spirit. And quite frankly, you got your mama's style too. I saw them glasses. And you got your way of speaking as well. That effeminate drawl that all the beta male, effeminate males have, who never had a daddy and a strong influence in their life. They just got that wavering, wishy-washy, just thing right below the surface. It's not fair. It's not right. We're witnessing things we didn't want to witness. Right. This is reality, bub. This is what being a man is. Go ask the Christed being who died because of your sins, not to absolve you of your sins. You all sat around in his time and chose Barabbas and kept lying, cheating, stealing, and grifting. So that real ass motherfucker who was really walking it and living it had to die for your bitch ass. And nothing's changed to this day. I'll tell you firsthand.
Not yet. You're right.
You know what's crazy is I didn't even see this. I'm watching it for the first time as you're playing it. And I knew the way he's wearing, and he just said it right after we talked. He's like, "Where are my damages?" Out of his own mouth.
Where are my damages? Yeah, where's the next fucking big bag of fiat currency going to come from? Where's the fucking coin of the realm coming from? That's what you should be asking. Where's my next piece of self-knowledge that I'm going to need to build my character and grow as an honorable, good faith, godly man? That's what you should be seeking, the truth, as much as you're seeking damages and coupons for value with your mama's spirit, comfort freaks.
Right, and this is what's funny, and this is what I would remind De Castro and his legal team, which I know is Pogo, the whole works, but what he's doing is he's putting himself in a very precarious way, because if that judge, his husband, is a cop, and that judge catches wind of this video, which I'm sure she has, I don't think he could get, like, as you said, felony, but they could check him in so many I don't even think he knows what the fire.
Right, they could put him in a single cell where he's really going to have to talk to God and find a different aspect of self and have no contact with any other inmate and barely any staff. because he's on a recorded line, bringing in people's families and talking about folks being tyrants and treasonous, and he's invoking potentially a breach of the peace. He's trying to rally the troops, essentially, metaphorically.
Right.
So, yeah, if he keeps doing it, they're going to make him do the next. He's already halfway through almost. Out of 180 days, you wind up doing, I think, 120. So he's about halfway through. They will make him do the next 2 months or 3 months with absolutely no contact, with no services and no products and no interaction with the rest of the prison and no movement, because he's a threat to security. I don't know what he's trying to prove. He's not right completely. He doesn't understand the dynamics of court and courting. He doesn't have self-knowledge, and he's quoting other men's scriptures from hundreds and thousands of years ago without any understanding of the firsthand perspective of that being in consciousness. This is nothing but mischievousness, foolishness, and desperate attempts to stay relevant in the conversation and make a bag off this unfortunate set of circumstances for him as he sees it, where he's been victimized.
Okay, so I like I said, I feel it's Pogo being used by Pogo, all for that bag. But here's where I do feel he could become a martyred one, because he's so stupid and so dumb that if he does entangle himself to get hemmed up even more or checked or something, whatever, because of what he's presenting, as you said he didn't come in with respect. I don't hate cops. I ain't gonna lie. I got family who are in enforcement. Shit, I've known for years. Like,
you realize that he is actually doing sovereign citizen. What they all claim that I'm doing? No, I'm on record as American national at this point, at best. I'm not sovereign citizen. I'm not United States citizen. I have a citizenship. I don't consider myself that. Right? I may use that citizenship for benefits and privileges if necessary, but as soon as it's a detriment to me, that status is dropped. I retain my original status as a man of this American nation, not a United States corporation, foreign corporation incorporated on the land of America, but not for American values, right? So again, he's on record as U.S. citizen. He's on record as part of the legal society with his paperwork, contracts, and presentment, and he's trying to retain his sovereignty that he's given up long ago on record. He is a sovereign citizen. So when they stick the label on him and they say he's a sovereign citizen and he's promoting anti-government terrorism and he's trying to rally a group of folks outside the jail to potentially do harm to agents of that administrative court, he's going to find himself in trouble. Like he already has. And it's going to cost a lot more than $50,000, apparently, to get that attorney to speak for you, to get you out of them charges. It's a whole other conversation at that point. And furthermore, if you're calling somebody out of state, which you are, they're going to bring federal charges to the table because you're using electronic communication device to contact folks interstate to try to potentially, in their eyes, overthrow their U.S. corporate interests, which is RICO. In their world, which you're a part of, because you've not separated yourself yet. You keep playing into it and fighting with it and arguing it, and you don't have the facts. You don't have what you need to do what the fuck you're doing. I'm not so sure I do. I could probably do it a lot better than you, Mr. DeCastro. Go ahead, Jack. I see you're giving me the salute. You got your own thing to do. I don't take it personal. We'll see you later. I appreciate you stopping by, sir.
Happy born day. Much love to
Thank you, sir.
God bless.
And many more to you as well.
Over target, though. What you just said is over target. Like, actually, what you just said made me realize you see it more than I thought you did. So, okay.
How many times have you said that to me over the last however many years at this point? 2 years?
There's times I question, but I mean, what you just said is exactly like, word for word.
Right. You're literally being the spokesman of the false sovereign citizen movement that has been overlaid on people like me who are actually upholding the law and rights and making the distinction. This is why I got on Bryan, right? And I'm getting the vibe right now that I'm about to do it. And I'm trying to show good faith and honorability because I talked to him privately, but it's going to happen again. Because I'm telling you folks, all I could do is tell you what I'm experiencing, and then you have to take it and tell me where I'm off, or you don't even have to tell me. I'll just embarrass myself for the truth, whatever. I'm telling you from my perspective, you folks all think you're helping, and you're actually part of a psychological operation being carried out here. You're working for the other side, whether you know it or not. Not that there's sides, but you think you're working for God / the truth / Americans and their rights. You're not. You're creating more division between men and women and policy enforcement. You're drumming up more anger and hate. You're creating more confusion that leads to chaos. And you're not creating any resolution or remedy when it comes to the courts and your record. You're doing a disservice. Okay?
All media relations, too.
I got it. Thank you. Media relations. Thank you. We get it. They're related in media and they get profits for coming on and making content and not caring to screen themselves and what's happening historically to understand how true and valuable it is or how much you're serving one side or the other indirectly.
Let's be real, Paul.
This is going to civil war. If you keep making it about the policy enforcement versus the citizens rather than the dual jurisdiction, the status and standing and what we've given away, you're going to further the civil war. You're going to create more political division. You're going to have these courts start writing up documentations to have people enhancedly interrogated and taken away. Don't you get it?
With no lawyers.
Because you are doing what they're saying I'm doing to try to muddy the waters that they know on record is not true. They're playing you. You are doing it. You guys are acting like a bunch of sovereign citizens. You're all on record in the contracts. You're all supposed to adhere to the policy and code. You believe it's law, despite what I tell you. Then you want to talk to me about having implicit choice and rights. You don't. Contractually on record. Till you correct that, I'm not supporting you in what you guys are doing because you're hypocritical frauds and you're doing a disservice to yourself, to folks like me, and your fellow countrymen and women who you're not living the truth with and you're not revealing it to. You get me? You're going to cause a whole bigger problem and situation on this land than you ever could have imagined because it's not real to you. You're in a false sense of security. You don't understand how historically this has always gone. Stop acting like we're overthrowing United States corporation. Stop conflating the jurisdictions. Stop showing up with attorneys, submitting your fucking natural rights, appearing as the person, then claiming you have natural rights. And then saying you want something done to the agents who've carried out the contract exactly the way you filled it out and presented. Take some fucking accountability and responsibility, or we're going to world war. We're already there. We're going to civil war, and you're going to economic collapse. Either way, it's not going to matter. Even if you do everything I'm saying from now till then, you're still going to get the floor moved under you like they have many times before. The economic collapse is happening. They're doing everything they can on record to make it happen. And the currency has purposely been backed by nothing for the last 100 years. Get a clue. The games are over. The grift is over. The bullshitting yourselves and each other is over. And if you keep making an enemy out of the courts and policy enforcement and not correcting your record and standing and status and presentment, and we go to civil war, you guys are fucked. Because I look into your eyes, and the most of you are inauthentic, corporate, cowardly beta males. That's why you're not listening to me, even if you're hearing me, and you're not doing what I'm doing. So when the time comes to shoot or get shot, you're going to be hiding like Anne Frank in the attic. And you're going to be calling somebody else like you always have all your life to do your fucking work for you. And they ain't going to be there. Get it? So cut the fucking games. Unless you're willing to get a gun and go to war today and kill or die for what you believe in, that's also false. Cut the fucking games. You're not a spokesman. You're not a leader of a movement. You're an inauthentic corporate beta male fucking coward. And you're at the whim of God and the devil at this point. And what you choose on record, that's what's going to define you individually and collectively. I suspect can't prove it. History proves it already. If you dare to fucking look and have any discernment or understanding to interpret it properly, it's the same holographic simulation loop over and over again. It's beyond fascinating. It's beyond comedic in the tragic humor that's displayed in just either the lack of awareness. I don't think that's what it is. These are not dumb folks. These are not folks who can't be aware. They're folks who are aware, but they're just not going to do anything different other than whine, cry, complain, point at who the enemy is, and never take accountability and responsibility as individual men and women. They're too fucking scared of what the consequences are going to be. And ironically, the consequences are going to be the same anyway. Fascism, slavery, genocide, disempowerment, degradation, and humiliation. Either way, that's coming historically for the people of this land. The only thing that's going to mitigate that is you living in truth and faith from now, during, and then when you leave here. That's it. Either way, the outcome's pretty much mutually assured. Always has been, always will be. Like Snap said, it's prophesied. Right. But we don't have to continue to feed into the self-fulfilling prophecy and create that and live that while complaining about it. It's absurd. You folks don't understand. When you take this walk and this presentment the way I do, you start seeing where the real enemy is, inside of self and now all around you, next to you. That's when the real wake up happens. When you realize it's not them in the costumes playing a part in a position. It's my father. It's my mother. It's my friends. It's the bullshit corporate peers. They're all paying for it. They're all listening to it. They're all supporting it. And when Paulie Boy gets dragged off, they got nothing to say or do about it. You are the Holocaust. You are the collectivist. You are the socialista, Nazi fascist. You're all around me. You're all informing on each other. You're all following the Fuhrer's codes and policy. You all claim I'm uncivilized when I refuse to. You all claim you're too scared to do it because you know what's going to happen to you. By proxy, you're saying, fuck Paulie Boy. Fuck the spirit of the Christed being. Fuck the truth and what's right. That's what you're saying. And you think that I'm going to support you in that when I know who and what you are, just like the Creator does, and it's bringing a judgment down on you as we speak? You've gotten more than you fucking deserve. Let's be real about it. Most of you content creators and fake activists have gotten way more than you deserve off the back of a truth you're telling half the truth of. And half a truth is still a lie. Okay? And if you're not even living that truth you're talking, you're in debt even deeper. So tell the whole fucking truth and live it. If not, shut the fuck up and go away. Because you folks ain't helping nothing. You're muddying the waters, creating more confusion, and it's leading to more chaos because you don't know your fucking role in this life. And you don't know what your true purpose and meaning and value is. And you lean on your own understanding that's flawed because you don't have the discernment of the Creator. That's clear. Thoughts, Mr. O'Shea and Snafu, before we get back? We got to finish this up.
I'm just curious about O'Shea because I know Castro's been bugging him. I'm just curious.
I got to thank Mr. Harris here, I believe it is. Let me check again before I forget. No, I already thanked him. Mr. Johnson, appreciate you. Jay Johnson says, yep, the God of all media. I appreciate you, sir. Of course, that's just a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek kind of triggering moniker, entitlement. You know, I am just a man. I guess the best part about being just a man is we're all made in the image of the Most High. So we're all essentially have a connection to, or an ability to ascertain the consciousness of, as I see it, the spirit of creation, right? What you might call the Christed or Holy Spirit. It's basically the veil is removed. The discernment is updated. The ability to see between the lines and to understand cause and effect and reverse systems dynamics, reverse engineer the systems dynamics is seemingly more apparent, right? So this is the whole point of, from the beginning of time, men and women who've chosen to walk in radical truth and faith and authenticity and accountability and humbleness before the creative force, because more is revealed when you don't live as a man of faith and humbleness and humility before the creative force. You will be blinded by your own beliefs and the beliefs of others, and you will take yourself and others down and never be aware of it. That is the deceiver. It's called that for a reason. As within, so without. As above, so below. Get a clue on what we're talking about here. If not, it's to your own peril, to your own detriment. I really have no personal gain by other folks being more conscious and aware. I've surrendered that we're all going to die at some point, and we can't control under what circumstances. So whether it's taken out like 3/4 of my family at this point, suffering in bed, shitting on themselves with cancer, or whether it's by a bullet or whatever it may be, it's a surety here. Death is part of life. What's not a surety here, especially for a bunch of mind and heart controlled cowardly slaves, is that we actually truly live for once. We actually truly have our personal choice. We actually truly live by the compass, the moral compass, and the conscience that God fucking gave us all the way, not lukewarm and half stepping it. That's what I contend the dynamic is here, always has been. We step out into faith on that, or we lose it all. And then we get to watch, and then we get to choose again. And then we get to leave out of here and probably do it all over again after that. Fun times, huh?
And I did back up a little bit. It's clear as day on video. I don't know how to show respect for Ann Zimmerman when she put me in a frickin' dungeon. There's no statute, code, or ordinance that says there's a 21-foot rule, and even if there was, I wasn't given due notice according to objective law. And if I was given a 21-foot notice, I wouldn't have gone away 21 feet. I would have backed up a little bit like I did, but I can't do my job from 21 feet away. I'm a journalist who films cops. That's what I do. Release me from this jail. You're going on the cover of my book. The 3 employees I had to fire, you're going to hear their stories about how they had a job one day and then a tyrannical judge just threw their nonviolent employer in jail for a victimless crime that he didn't even commit. You deserve all the dirty looks you're going to get. You deserve every petition that is mailed to the court. Try to look pained, Ann. Try to really show how each petition just pains your wretched soul. How do you sleep at night? Absolutely ridiculous. Maybe her new husband, the president of the ACLU in Nevada, will advise us. What can we do now? She's put me in jail and there's no victim and I didn't violate the statutes I was accused of. My closest friends and my lawyer have said to me, don't say anything else. Okay, fine. You trade places with me then. You live in this shithole with slop for food. Guards look up your ass and tell you to shut up all day, every day. Read, write, or sleep. Read, write, or sleep. I'm told that constantly. I shouldn't hear you talking. If I have too many books open, look there, learning, that's a lockdown for 24 hours. Every time the door's open, I have to look and check. Has Ann Zimmerman pulled some strings that got me thrown into the hole? I just don't know. I speak now at the injustice that has been done to me at the cost of my endless sleepless nights, at the cost of my conscience, at the cost of my well-being. If I'm put in the hole, it will be unjust. Can they put a man in that hole with me who's twice my size and could hurt me or kill me? Does that happen on purpose or even by accident? Before every phone call I make, before this journalistic report that I'm reporting here today, it reads to me, if you need to, hang up and call star 7732 to be connected to the PREA operator. What is PREA? P-R-E-A, Prison Rape Elimination Act. To reach that, all I have to do is to call star 7732. Miss Zimmerman, every day I have to use the bathroom in front of other men, and when I shower or shave, I have to realize that there's a PREA operator for a reason. So I will not be quiet. As I rise in popularity, as I rise and I continue to live my life, your picture will be shown for the rest of my life. And don't forget, I still have to live through this. Ann Zimmerman sentenced me to the most dangerous place on earth for a man. Every day people leave this place feet first. But I should shut up about what she did. I should not let people know what Ann Zimmerman has done to me, how she's unprincipled and she's lost her ethics. What did you say to me, Ann, when you cast me into this hellhole? You said, you want the smoke. That's what you said to me. Okay, well, I'll say this to you, Ann. You want the media? You got it. You are now the face of injustice. You are now the face of tyranny. If anything happens to me, Judge, you will be seen as a thug, a hitman. You will be seen as the person who caused my rape or caused my murder. My story will live on, but you will walk the earth for the rest of your life, the disgraceful person you are. And everybody will see your face and know that you caused my death. The blood will be on your hands, Judge Zimmerman. One more thing. To the ACLU attorney of Ms. Ann Zimmerman, what's the legal recourse for your tyrannical wife and what she's done? I definitely think that you were alpha widowed by Lieutenant Zimmerman. Mr.
And then that's where then, while you tell that story and your team tells that story, I'll be over here telling a different story like I have been from the beginning. Mr. DeCastro got himself murdered and raped in jail because he wouldn't shut his mouth. He wouldn't stop being abrasive and obnoxious and acting like a petulant child. He wouldn't take any personal responsibility and accountability, and he wouldn't think about anybody else who's in those conditions and how they're doing their time. So when the inevitable happens, it's almost like you're doing this on purpose subconsciously. It's like you're acting out this story to like equalize with your father's story. Psychologically, it's like what you're doing. Because I said from day one, if you keep crying on the phone, if you keep acting like a bitch, if you keep complaining and acting like a victim, if you keep blaming everyone else, and then other folks around you get the word about what the real story is and what everybody's doing there, they may potentially take it out on you. So you could blame Ann Zimmerman for how you chose to do your time, but just like outside, on the inside, you're responsible and accountable for you, what you do and say and don't do and say. And then the consequences that come from that and your ability to respond to those consequences or not. That's what being a man is. I hate to, destroy everybody's pity party, victimization campaign, political positioning for governor, and ability to save the world from tyranny and treason that you yourself are causing directly and indirectly, whether you know it or not. That's the game. Whether you know it or not, that's what's actually happening. And that's what fucks most people. It's life on life's terms, not life on your terms. And your cult-like cult of personality, idol worshiping audience thinks, right? It's just about cause and effect. And this is a spiritual dynamic first and foremost. You're going to get the understanding in the way, or you're going to continue to choose your own suffering and others, and you're going to suffer the whole way, whine and complain and blame other people. And you're never going to get the lessons you need in life, and you're never going to grow and level up. And you're never going to become closer to God, quite frankly, as far as I can see it.
ACLU man doesn't have a uniform and a shiny badge.
We got 5 more causes this week. They always got a cause in and of the world, but they never see the bigger calling and cause of the universe and its law.
You broke your own principles to put me in here, but I should shut up. Oh, now I'm being accused that I'm a terrorist? You got to call the anti-terrorism unit because you're getting petitions? Oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry you have to get letters. I'll stop when I'm let out. I'll stop when I'm not in here anymore. That doesn't mean you're not going on.
Okay, so there it is. You just made a threat indirectly, even if you didn't promise violence. I got to thank Justin Harris. Justin Harris says, "Happy Born Day. Thank you, sir." This is a hell of an audience. I'll tell you that. An audience that resonates not only with me, but because they resonate with me only because of certain truths and certain ways of living and certain understanding. So I am blessed. That's why I don't have to come on here, lie, cheat, steal, and grift. I wouldn't even if I had to, but I don't have to. Okay? Because when you resonate with truth and the creative force and spirit, and you are pure in your heart and your intentions, and you show up every motherfucking day, more than 500 days straight, for yourself and others in the truth, and to be a source of empowerment and co-creation, inspiration, and to be open to the people, to have a platform, it tends to come back to you. Because it's called being honorable, presentable, good faith. It's called being inspired and truly empowered. Not this false hate-based inspiration you got, lacking true love and care and understanding of self. So I've been trying to put you guys on for a while now to what I was put onto. You don't want it. That's the crazy part about this. All you lie and cheat and steal and fraud and infidels don't want the way to the way. You don't want the true grace and true empowerment, inspiration, and blessing. You don't want the mercy of the Creator. You want to continue to choose your own suffering and play competition games and try to chase a bag and fight for your position. You just don't get it yet, do you? We're going to get you right at some point, right? Chase that character update the way you chase a bag and causes. See the bigger calling and the bigger cause. Unite with that and you won't have to chase and seek no more. It says, seek the truth, the objective truth, or true enough, and you will be set free. You ain't got it yet. You'll know when you're there. I'll know when you're there if you don't.
On the cover of my book, but I'll stop talking about Ann Zimmerman the moment my feet get free soil. I shouldn't be in here. To my jailers, have I done something wrong? I didn't read anywhere in the dungeon handbook that making an
more political causes, more identification with the world and worldly ways, more identification with culture and society, more identification with politics and group dynamics. And yeah, I forgot to mention what I brought up that I never finished. You just threatened her indirectly because you gave an and/or statement. You better contact your legal counsel, Mr. Law Scholar, the next time you make a statement like that. It's probably why the lawyers is now calling for you to get charges. Because when you say to administrator who made a ruling that you signed off on and consented to and went back there to talk about, and you say, do this or else, that's a threat. Even if you don't say violence, because these folks' careers and livelihood are involved, and you're talking to the world and you have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and you're potentially putting them at some threat of loss, injury, or harm now, whether you're meaning to do that or not. So when you say to her, you're going to stop encouraging the people to write her personal letters that may contain threats or falsities or defamation or libel or slander, you're basically threatening her indirectly. You're saying, until I get let out of here, I'm going to use my political power base to do a metaphorical, metaphysical war of letters with you. You're not getting it. You're not learning. You're not getting the lesson here. You're digging yourself deeper. And if you push these people far enough, you're not going to win with ego and pride with them. They're going to check your bitch ass. You just don't get it, man. This ain't your house. You ain't God and you ain't even the devil. You got little to no power in this world with your worldly ways. Your only true power is the truest power. In the beginning is the word was made real. You better get back to humbleness before the creative force. I'm pleading with DeCastro. They'll say I'm insulting him. I'm humiliating him. I'm detracting from his business and his cause. I'm a hater. No, I'm pleading like the God of creation would with him in a fatherly way to take personal accountability and responsibility, to understand this truth, to get better, or it's going to get worse by his own choosing. Ignorance of the truth and law is no excuse. You can't claim I haven't been here for years telling you all publicly and privately, and you can't claim you ain't getting the report from that cell of what's going on. I'm not buying it. You've been put on notice. This is why the courts respect me. This is why I'm a friend of the court. I believe. I can't prove it. Because they say, Paulie Boy has a conviction. He's pure in his motive. He's got his understanding together, and he's pleading with these other slaves who are harming themselves and others and embarrassing themselves to get right on the record under God. Because if not, it's in God we trust. They're going to stand in as that and for that. And you're already on record as the persona, the corporate entity. You're beneath it. If you're not going to operate in equity and trust, they are. And they've been entrusted in their position by the God of this world to govern you with policy and code if you believe that the law of this creation is the law of man. If you won't observe the law of God and the way of God, the way to the way, we can go to the Tao or the Christian scripture, you're going to be run by the law of man, which is policy and code. And you can't fight it. You can't resist it. There's no way out of it for you. The more you fight, the deeper it goes. That's the nature of this paradoxically. There's a metaphysical dynamic here that has to be understood, practiced, and attained. If you try to fight these folks in the world with their tools and their ways, they will beat you. That's what I've learned. Maybe you know something. I don't want to discourage you. Maybe you're going to overtake them. You're going to teach them a lesson, and we're all going to learn from it. But this is not the modality that I perceive, and I've been given the experience of what we're here to do, which is to be in resistance to this, combative with this, to bring it to the physical realm. It's not what this is, right? The God of creation, as it says, works in mysterious ways. And since this has been going on from the beginning of time, there's a theme here of lessons that have to be learned and then applied. And I contend it's what I'm doing here and what I'm speaking about regularly that correlates with the ancient wisdom and holy scriptures, so to speak. Till we observe that dynamic and live that as a whole, we're going to see more and more of this, and it's probably only going to get worse for the individual and collective. Because you're missing the story, you're missing the theme, you're missing the point, you're missing the connection with the Holy Spirit and the creative force that will then manifest a new outcome with you and for you. God helps those who help themselves. You're looking to help yourself in a worldly way. You're not looking to help higher self, which is connected to all other selves. You're looking for your next 5 political causes that you can spout and be seen and heard and be an example for these people who don't know nothing in your mind. You want validation. You're not looking for proof of concept and verification in truth, equity, and faith. You're looking for validation you never got from your daddy who got locked up for 20 years in prison, DeCastro. I'm trying to help you by giving you the reveal, not only of the spirituality, but the psychology and sociology. It all goes together. It all fits together, right? This is where there is no separation. When you observe this universe and creation, if you want to create a mapping of this world or the creation or conscious and awareness, you have to understand all things are connected. It's just different aspects of self and different principles of how conscious and awareness works and what it results in almost every fucking time without fail. Your thoughts, Mr. Bryan O'Shea? Before we get back to it, is this compelling anything in you, or are you just kind of listening and going along? I don't need anything one way or the other necessarily.
No, this is great stuff, man. It's you know, I just had this thought about this philosopher's stone thing, this alchemy thing, and how the philosopher's stone is so awesome and healing. And that's what I think it's like, we embody it, or you embody it. You know, you get into situations, you just come with the straight up truth, and it helps the situation. Like, you're trying to help him, you're not trying to hurt him, like you're saying, dude. Like, this is all a healing, healthy thing. And yeah, he's going through his own alchemical process, just like all of us are. Or this whole world is, in one sense or another. So,
right, that's all it is. It's like one of those enclosed beakers where you just keep seeing, like the ethereal, right? Like the boiling of the physical human being. You know, the entropy, the decay that then turns into the vapor, which is spirit, that then comes back down into the physical form. The water-based form, incarnation. That's all this realm seems to be, is one big test tube where they put the heat underneath, they boil it, and the physical is constantly transmuted from the spiritual back to the physical, and it's a rebirthing process. Whether it's in physical form of incarnation or metaphysical form of discernment and a born-again conscious and awareness, where you start to see more, and you start to be able to connect more dots, and you start to be able to speak and live more freely because you are connected to that spirit, right? It's like speaking and living from that heart-based consciousness that seems to know all or be connected to all, right? It's alchemy, bro. That's all that this realm seems to be, is some metaphysical simulation version of alchemy almost constantly. And it's just holographic from the lowest to the highest level. Go ahead.
And that's what that Ouroboros symbol is. I was looking up some alchemy stuff today, and that Ouroboros symbol came up. It's actually when I was looking up the donkey, because she said Jesus rode a donkey. I was looking into some stuff. Somehow it got connected to alchemy or whatever. It wasn't with the Jesus stuff. But anyways. But yeah, I like that, dude. I like that you were able to, what you just said.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's the point. I want to be clear, O'Shea, so that they get it. Because you got a guy down there calls himself Chile de Con artist. Just because I talk about all these dynamics that also apply to me, all self is self, right? All criticism is self-criticism, if not now, at one time. So it all applies. There's no separation. That's the point. I'm not here to hate anybody. Like I told you before, we're not here for that. This is my version of true love and care. Comes across oftentimes to folks who don't want the real truth as hate. I have no hate in my heart for Mr. DeCastro. I'm highly aware this is his alchemy process. This is his test tube time. He is put there in order to transmute and to separate the parts from the whole and then reintegrate them back into a more whole, fuller, actualized, realized self that is in concordance with more objective truth. He's being put through the same tests, trials, and tribulations as I, Mr. O'Shea, and many others. There's no separation from that dynamic. The only separation is how we choose to see it and what we do with that opportunity that we don't see as an opportunity. We see as a victimization to us. That's the key, right? So every time you're given a choice at the crossroads, this is not what I like. This is not what I want. Look for where it's what you need. You might stumble across something. No. This is exactly what the fuck I need because I see the bigger picture here. We walk by faith, not by sight. This is about the truth, not your desires. Desires lead to suffering because oftentimes desires are outside of the life on life's terms and however the creator has it formed for us to be, right? We just don't want to relinquish control of that ego and that pride. It feels like we become powerless. Turns out that's when we gain our power back, is when we let go of that false sense of self and the projected false strength, and we just do what's true and what's right, and we surrender the rest. Hey, I know what world I'm in. I know what's liable to happen to me. Doesn't mean I'm going to live in hate so that they can mirror that back to me or I can destroy myself. I'm living in true love and true care, and the first part of that word is truth. And that's why you will see me act with folks who will lie to themselves and me and try to distort this one truth in this one way. I rebuke them because I know they're playing, whether they're aware of it or not, they're playing a dangerous game with themselves and me and everyone else, and it ain't going to end well. I really do see that and believe that. Whether it's my own hallucination, that's a different discussion. But that's why I get the way I do with my father. It's not because I don't have love and care for him. I am him. You want to talk about a phrase that goes beyond telling someone you love them or care about them? That's a feeling. That's an emotion oftentimes. And then you got to ask yourself, what actions are connected to that emotion? Because I could argue oftentimes it's a false emotion. How can my father tell me he truly loves and cares about me if he's living into slavery and taking me with him? Cut the games. I don't care how much money you give me. I don't care how much feelings you have for me. If you're going to be a coward and you're going to submit to slavery and submit me to it, you ain't my father and you ain't a man. And it's that simple. I know you don't like that. I don't like it either, but that's what it is. That's what it seems to be. I can't see it any other way. So again, you want to talk love and care? Let's talk true love and care and the actions behind it. And then let's reconcile that if the actions don't come with that feeling, it ain't true love and care. It's just a feeling. It's just talk at that point. It's just what you want and don't want. Right? So, this is, you sometimes you got to get shallow to get deep. And that's what I mean by that. Sometimes you got to go directly to the source of what is cause and effect and say, let's reverse engineer this. Would somebody who really loves me and love themselves follow this statute, policy, and code and then subject me to it? And then when I stand for what's true and what's right under God, you rebuke me for that? That's not how that goes. You got it reverse. So the son has to take on the banner of what the father was incarnated here to do that they failed to see and do. That's not about a competition. That's about doing what's true and what's right. If I fail to do it and you fail to do it, well, then this lineage goes into despair. That's what you're not getting and accepting. You got too much pride and ego in the way, right? Because I talked to my father today, he wants to tell me, well, you hurt my feelings when you say this, this, and this about me. I go, I get that, but you need to understand why I'm saying it and what the true value and principle is beneath what I'm saying. You need to understand that, incorporate that in your beingness so we can bond truly for probably the first time ever. This is what they're not getting. They don't understand true loyalty, true bond, true honor. You know why? Because they've never faced their death or gone to war, metaphorically or metaphysically. Right? They're at war with themselves. But when I say at war, I mean they don't understand the camaraderie of saying, this is who and what we follow, God and this objective truth. We're united in that, in creation, and we're not budging. We're not moving. We're going to walk this walk together. So if I have to go to prison, I can sit there knowing my father doesn't think I'm crazy. He doesn't think I'm misguided. He's sitting somewhere holding it down just like I am, knowing I'm there for a reason, because we got to do what's true and what's right. I shouldn't have to go to jail and worry about, are these people around me who are supposed to love me and care about the truth and our land and country and future think I'm crazy and going to rebuke me and say, there's Paulie Boy again making trouble? No, kiss my ass. I'm doing the work you won't do. You could do it, but you won't do it because you're a fucking coward. See, that's when that ego, as in quotes, starts to flare up. No, that's a sense of self, and it's true. It's not false self, and it's not a dysfunctional projection. It's the truth of the facts of the matter. And I'm not going to ask why a son should have to do what's true and what's right and a father not. No, we all have to, because it's all oneself, and the standard applies to all of us. So again, as a father, as a man, in humbleness and humility before the creation and me and this audience, your proper position is to bow your fucking head, because now I got to tell you how to be a man and understand and really feel. Bow your fucking head and accept you failed and fallen short. And it was by your own cowardice and choice, because pride and ego and cowardice has been your biggest fucking problem all your life, just like it has been mine and every other motherfucker within the sound of my voice. Who are you kidding? Accomplished author or not, graduate of summa cum laude or not. Get it? There's a difference between life on life's terms and life on your terms or the institution's terms. Which one do you want to live? That's going to define you. As a free man with credibility and integrity, self-respect and respect for truth, or a corporate, lying, duplicitous, cowardly slave. There doesn't seem to be much in between. That's what I talk about when I say honor and good faith. And that's why I go off sometimes here and call my father a piece of shit. Not because he didn't provide for me, not because he didn't have some love or care for me, because he, like myself and seemingly everyone else here, has been a greedy, money-hungry, selfish, worldly, shallow, materialistic, cowardly slave. How many more adjectives do you fucking need? And I'm pretty sure the fact that we all come into this place and become that, if we're not like that from the beginning, is so we can learn how to undo that and go back to God and die with some kind of fucking dignity. You get it? That's why I go off the way I do. Because you think that I don't see. If you don't see, you think I don't see the bigger purpose and meaning for why we're here. I think I do. And I contend it applies to all of us. And if you want to spend time on the lowly level arguing and bullshitting and denying and projecting and rejecting and playing egotistical, prideful games, I'm calling your bitch ass out because I see right through it. I know me, so I know you. I know I've been my own biggest problem in this life, and so have you. Stop putting it on me and everyone else. It's us. It's the individual. It's self. You lack self-awareness. You lack self-worth and self-value. You lack self-esteem and self-respect. It's obvious in the way you live, the partners you choose, and what you choose to do when you're challenged and up against the wall. A man is defined by when he gets power or when his back is put against the wall. I think I've done a pretty damn good job at showing what it's like to practice, not to be straight and not straight, to practice being honorable, presentable, good faith, truthful, forgiving, okay, and truly loving and caring. Kind, not so much. Maybe I need to work on that, if that's a virtue, and I'm not seeing it as that, because there comes a point where there is no being kind to these people. There is no being nice to these people. If they won't take what's true and correct and run with it, then they're a waste of fucking life. Let's call it as it is. That's been shown and proven the last 4 years. You won't come forth on American values to make America great again. You're a waste of fucking life to God, to country, to family, and everyone else here watching this fucking broadcast and a part of it. And if you are that, well, reconcile it. Voting for Donnie Trump, paying the slave tax, rebuking me when I'm living, upholding rights in the law. You got some fucking balls and nerve, and you don't even know enough to be ashamed. You're too busy worried about how your feelers were hurt again by what I said and how I said it. Your feelings should be more hurt by what the fuck I said is true, and God's gonna judge you. How about that? How about having a disappointment and a fear for the God and for your own conscience rather than what your son or someone else said about you that may happen to have some motherfucking truth in it? See, if you sought truth as much as you sought validation and love, we wouldn't have this problem, and we'd have more validation and love than you could shake a fucking stick at. The reason we don't is because you got this process in reverse. Instead of seeking truth to share the true word and validation and love that you ain't got, you're too busy seeking that worldly love and that validation. Therefore, you get none of it. You see how it fucks you? You see the game? Maybe they'll get it at some point shortly before they're ready to fucking check out of here. A little bit more ego grinding, I'd say. Your thoughts, Mr. O'Shea?
Yeah, it's like COVID happens the last few years, and it's like, oh, there's a sickness out here, right? Or there's a sickness in the world in general, but like back to the alchemical or the physician, like physician, heal thyself. Like that's how I'm looking at this shit. Like be that philosopher's stone. The philosopher's stone has crazy amount of power in such a concentrated thing, and that's what I think I'm coming to know or have faith in, that like at any moment you could access unbelievable amounts of power. That's what faith kind of is. And it's like,
right, but you're not doing this for the power. You're aware there's power and inspiration there, but you're not doing it to get the power and inspiration. You're doing it because it's true and it's right as far as you can perceive. The power and the inspiration comes with that or not. You do it because it's true and it's right, and because your intentions are pure, the inspiration and the power shows up. As soon as your intention becomes impure, that inspiration and power is taken from you. That's how I see it.
right. That's why people chase, oh, I'm going to be able to turn base metals into gold. They don't realize they're chasing the power. Yeah, and then they lose it. It's like the grasp for the ring or whatever. You know, it's like
Right. It started off base metals into gold, as in changing yourself into a more godlike beingness in conscious and awareness and discernment. That went to taking actual lead in the world and changing it into gold so you can be rich in the world but be broke in spirit. That's not what the God of creation is asking of us here, I suspect. That's not what the subconscious and the conscious mind and the conscience is connected to as far as a walk goes.
Right. So if you are that philosopher's stone, if you are that power, or like I've just been doing it as an exercise when I'm around people. Like I am the healer. Like I try to tell myself, how can I be a healer in this situation? Like I've been doing it on this broadcast. How can I do it right now? Like I'm setting an intention and I'm putting my attention.
Well, look at the word, O'Shea. Healer, right? Isn't it like with a dog, we say heal as in walk the line? So in order to be a healer, you have to be essentially a minister. And what I mean by that is you have to call everybody out as far as an objective human, a self, the human condition, and say, where are we at with that? How does it apply to us? And where do we go from here? So yeah, you basically, as a healer, have to convince yourself and the public to heal to the God and the law of creation rather than to heal to their corporate masters. That's the only way you're going to get true healing, physically and metaphysically, is by being in alignment with the creative force and creation and its law. Anything else is resistance that leads to dis-ease and suffering. I got to thank Travis T for his contribution. No message. I just wanted to get that in. Go ahead, Mr. O'Shea. I didn't mean to interrupt the flow.
Right. That's why if you get dragged in a courtroom, or say even and you're able to embody that healing, like you have it, you're radiating. Like I'm not saying you, I mean, I think you do have it, but I'm saying if someone has it inside a courtroom and you're just radiating that you are the philosopher's stone, right? Like, you know, talking about move the court. Oh, I'm going to make a motion. The whole thing is like, because I had this envision in my head, like you keep saying this phrase in court, I'm here to move this court, you know, and then you do your thing, you're saying stuff, and later on you say it again, I'm here to move this court, and you keep, like, I'm not saying I have the confidence, but I could see you doing it, say, and I hope that I could get there at some point where you're like, you actually move these motherfuckers, like you touch their fucking soul.
Right. That's like, what moving the court as a king was. The king would stand up. It didn't matter how he was dressed. That's the prince and the pauper, the same idea. And the king moves the court, not with appeals to victimhood and false emotion. The king calls forth a sentiment based on speaking the truth and the facts of the matter on record. That's what moves a court. That's what moves a woman. That's how you court. Courting is courting. What do they tell you when you're courting a woman? Just be the best version of yourself. Just be you. So if I live my life like that and I'm in the world and a woman sees and hears me and the way I live and my conviction and my integrity and my respect for self and the truth, she's going to be attracted to that. She's going to be moved by that, just like a court's going to be.
Right.
What they're not moved by is another inauthentic corporate beta male living a lie and projecting a false strength and spitting some bullshit they've already heard 1,000 times before that hasn't moved them yet. That's the opposite of courting. That's when you have dysfunctional intercourse, like most inauthentic corporate males and women, with themselves and each other and the society. There is no movement. There is no true sentiment, true value, true worth at this point. You got a bunch of empty suits doing dysfunctional intercourse for impure motives and outcomes.
Right. And that's where like, you know, if you come in with that energy and you are able to move a girl like who's with her man, say, and everyone knows it in the room, like it could go many different ways. The man could like fall back and be like, hey, you know what, this dude's got it. I see that my girl.
You just said it. Everyone in the room knows it and feels it. What they interpret or what they do with it, it's there. The same way it is at court. And then they'll argue or they'll try to ignore it or they'll try to say, well, we all saw that and felt that, but it was something else. No, we're all one self. We're all connected, directly or indirectly, and the word unites us all. So when certain words and actions are put together, it's palpable what's going on in the room and in self. That's the conviction. That's how you get convicted or not, because everyone in the room knows you're full of shit. Everyone in the room knows you think you're a loser failure and you're projecting false strength and trying to bullshit us. Everyone knows. And we live a whole life pretending everyone doesn't know, because maybe the majority of them don't, or half of them at least can't interpret, can't read themselves in the room, don't have any empathy or empathic intuitive ability to be able to read others.
Right. Guess where a great place to have is for the cure for false strength, right? Which is one of my, you brought it up the other day and it hit me hard. I realized, yeah, I have this false strength thing. I like to project false strength, right? But if you go to jail, you're in a fucking prison and you want to project false strength, like, okay, good luck with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a curative, as a place to get healed, like that's what Chili's, he's going through the alchemical process. And I have fear, that's things that's hard to admit, as a man, like I'm afraid, I'm projecting false strength.
It's very difficult for the ego to reconcile that your truest power is not of this world or what you've been used to presenting, that your truest power and value is that mercy and that grace and that true love and care and adherence to that law and that truth, right? The ego seeks to want to tell itself and others, I'm the man, I'm the biggest, I'm the baddest, I'm strong. It knows it's not the case, but it does that to try to cope with the fact that it's not the case. That's the point. You have to observe your weakness and vulnerability and then reconcile that your truest power is your faith, is the word of God and truth. Ego and sense of self in and of this world does not want to heal to that, does not want to break itself of its patterns and habits to seem strong when it's weak in order to prevent being victimized and preyed upon.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of us, like, who's the example? A lot of us figured this out on our own, basically. Or we're led completely down the wrong roads, or told things, or gaslit. Yeah. So a lot of people don't wake up to their kind of a certain age. I mean, you're actually kind of a younger version. Like, there's a lot of people my age who are just finally starting to get it a little bit. Then there's that weird dilemma where it's like, fuck, I'm already kind of old. Fuck.
Did we finish up here? We almost done, and then I got to wrap up soon.
Demoralize me to the word that speak about injustice. Performing injustice for speaking about injustice is the hallmark of a despotic government, not a republic. Directly from the book Spirit of Laws. They teach the people to be afraid. Fear is the blood of a despotic government. Yes, I am showing Ann Zimmerman's face, and yes, I'm calling her out for the evil doing she's done. And yes, I'm calling for her to be petitioned. Yes, I'm branding her the face of an unjust and unchecked injustice system. What crime is this I'm doing, though, right now? There is none. To the Las Vegas Anti-Terrorism Unit, I'm shocked to say, thank you for the healthy talk we had the other day. I ask you now publicly, is it not my right to speak? Is it not my right to call for her to be petitioned? Isn't it the very reason that you serve your country, for my right to be able to say and do the things I'm saying now? The reason why I gave Judge Zimmerman a thumbs up is because she was up there rambling on and on and on, saying this and that, and I gave her a thumbs up, mocking her. Do I hate some cops? Absolutely I do. Do I hate every single cop? No, I don't. Don't misrepresent me, Las Vegas Review. You know and I know I should not be put in jail. People at this stage should not be paid for me to be in jail when there's no victim and I didn't commit the crime. That's it. Thanks for your time. Later, readers.
All right, get the shirt, Bryan O'Shea. Free Chili shirt.
Free Chili. I'm going to open up a free
if only Chili would have freed Chili metaphysically before he was put in a physical cage. He still has a chance to free Chili even while in the cage, but he doesn't seem to be focusing on that. So I encourage folks, get the Free Chili shirt and then remind Chili that only he can free himself and truly imprison himself with the way that he thinks, feels, acts, or lack thereof.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I should get a little stand and sell free vegetarian chili, or not sell it, but offer free. Take donations there. Free vegetarian, free chili. Yeah, nah, man, this is good stuff, dude. Good stuff for your birthday. You're giving on your birthday. You're giving. You
don't get days off, Bryan O'Shea. I mean, we can choose that, but I don't see why. I mean, this is my place. This is my perch, right? These are my people. This is the kingdom of Unslavia, metaphorically, metaphysically. So really, there's no place I'd rather be. At least for some point throughout the day, it's my non-negotiable. It makes me who and what I am on some level, in the world at least. This is my form. This is my function. This is a blessing, right? There's really no other way to see it. With the life that I used to live, living this life now, to be able to show up and do what I love to do, that some folks feel that I'm good at, and serve others and bring value and also get value back, and have the rest of my day and my life to be free. It's like I'm not really even working at this point. I got to put the time, energy, and effort in. I got to care enough. But, I'm blessed and honored to be able to do this, and to still be able to continue out my life, and not have to go and do something else maybe that I wouldn't want to do, but still need to do. Right. So I always have to see it that way. This is not an obligation. This is not a chore. This is a blessing and an opportunity. And the moment that I don't see it as that, well, then I can choose to go do something else.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, on your day, you came out big, came with energy, helped a lot of people out. I think that's a little birthday gift for yourself, I guess. Look at it like that. But I'm sure everyone appreciates it. Chat, and everyone's gonna hear this in Chile. Like like you're doing this for Chile as well. Like you're not like I don't think you have any intentions of like any like bad intentions, evil intentions, like harmful to cause any loss, injury, or harm to him.
No, he's doing a great job of that on his own.
Right. So, I got the same judge, the same charge. I got a court date.
I did invite Zetetic Warrior, who said that I was amazing and he was my beta and we're going to save the world together in the beginning. And I did invite Wizard, who was yelling and screaming, saying it's gorilla season, being cared for by myself and this audience, and apparently saved from cancer with the help of these folks. I did invite them, but for some reason it seems that they're bitter and resentful and angry and potentially jealous and envious. And they're unreconciled people. They don't know how to move forward and how to be direct and how to be honest and accountable. And there's many others like them. This is not an exception to the rule. This is the rule nowadays, it seems. So, as much as I'd like to have everyone who's been a part of this experience over the past however many years be here at least to check in, have an interaction, as long as it's genuine, maybe have an opportunity to reconcile and move forward with a different approach or perspective, I'm always open to that. But again, are they? Obviously not, because they were here till they weren't, right? That's kind of the problem with a lot of these males. They do the same thing with their women and children. They're here till they're not. And then they wonder why they get women who are the same as them. We're here till we're not, because something happened we didn't like. We didn't get what we wanted. So now we're going to turn on Pauly Boy and the bigger picture and the bigger cause and the God of creation. And we're going to go our own way. And we're going to really prove something. I don't see what's being proved other than that folks can't reconcile, can't accept me for who and what I am, don't understand I've accepted them for who and what they are. But as far as I see it, everyone in their life, including themselves, doesn't want to accept them for who and what they are, nor should they, because they're not enough. Let's be clear about it. You don't have enough. You don't do enough. You're not being enough. That's clear in the way you present. I didn't make that true. I don't want that to be true. That's what's been shown. So when you got folks who live in lack, loss, abandonment, fear of lack, loss, and abandonment, and are constantly deluding themselves and or acting out in order to pad their insecure sense of self and the lack that they experience, well, then you have unreconciled friendships, I guess you could say, or coworkers or life partners as students of life on this journey, right? These are folks who had no problem with me for years at a certain point, being critical of others, right? Doing the bit non-bits, also calling people to the table to explain themselves and what we've experienced of them. No problem until it came their turn, right? And that's not true loyalty. That's not true honor. Sammy the Bull will tell you that. I had a whole video about Sammy the Bull, Bryan, when he did the Johnny Keys hit. And he said he learned everything about honor and the code and what Cosa Nostra was really supposed to be about when he had to kill a man who helped him to kill him. He was teaching him along the way and you know, critiquing him and also giving him credit for the hit that he was doing on the guy who was talking to him, right? So, you know, this is a different level of honor and integrity and respect for oneself and the bigger cause and a loyalty to the process, which is life. Most folks seemingly don't have it. As soon as shit gets hot for them and they don't get what they like or what they don't want, they fight or they run. And then they're out the door, never to return. If they do return, it's down the road a bit when they realize that they didn't have the answers and that I wasn't trying to harm them. I wasn't claiming I had necessarily all the answers either. I'm claiming we need to do a process and a practice here if we want to do and be and have better. So you either see that or you don't. And if you don't, then it's probably better off we don't occupy the same space. I'm not here to just be happy. I'm not here to just have fun and enjoy myself. I believe there is inherent purpose and meaning and value to this incarnation and this experience, and that's what I'm here for chiefly. So I'm going to get that at all costs. And if that means I have to give up a few fake-ass non-friends who were never really with me to begin with, because they don't think like me, feel like me, do what I do, live how I live, nor do they get the same results, well then, all the better, man. We got to trim the fat sometimes. The wheat and the chaff, as they say. You know, not only is this walk not for everybody, it's not for most people. The kingdom of heaven is few, the gate is narrow. You got to have a certain kind of will on you, the creator's will, not your weak ass, insecure will that folds under the least bit of pressure or accountability. That's not going to get it done. Ask my father, he'll tell you. I've been living this shit since day one. It's what's helped to form me. Right. So I'm really thankful and grateful for it. Don't mistake what I'm saying in the way that I say it. I'm not hateful toward these people. I'm perfectly happy with how everything has turned out, how it's meant to be, because the way it is the way it's meant to be. These folks have helped me. They've given me more resolve, more ambition, more motivation, more understanding, more acceptance of what is. The more of them that I lose or have to give up, just like every other people, place, or thing in this realm, the more that I'm called back to my strength and faith in the truth and authenticity and radical accountability for myself and who and what I am and what I'm going to do and not do. You know, that's just the way that it is. You got to flip the script at some point. Can't cry over spilt milk. You can't be regretful for what it seems like you lost, because for every person, place, and thing that leaves you or walks away from you, more is called in, right? That's what God tells us, essentially. That while we think that we're in loss and we're mourning that loss, more is being prepared for us up ahead, but we're too busy driving, looking in the rearview mirror to receive the blessings. Yeah, I'm not playing that game. So as much as I'd want to or like to have certain folks here and a part of this experience, it's not meant for everybody. Quite the opposite. And I'd rather look forward to the blessings and the grace that God has prepared and stored for me than to look behind me at what's already decided it's not fit for that journey and that destination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, practice of forgiveness, like you're saying, even if you're practicing detachment with these people, but there's also that prodigal son, the father, you know, the daddy thing. Like these people want to go out in the world and do their mischief, but you know, you still have the spirit of humility, like Paul, humble. That's the meaning of that name, and like, you know, so that's one thing that I learned or that I observed. That I try, you know, I want to try to emulate or practice too, like that spirit of, like it's combined, right? Like you got the radical authenticity or the truth, the ugly truth that you're willing to present, but at the same, you know, if people get freaked out by it or, you know, want to lash out or act out, but then there's that spirit of forgiveness to be practiced too. Like if anyone wants to come back at another time, or it's like you say though, you're not saying, oh, I have all the answers. I'm saying I'm 100% right, but some things are just objectively, you know, we could see what's going on.
So I got a contribution coming your way. Justin Harris says, for improving Bryan's luck. You see, I put the sign out, you're down on your luck, like we do with the cardboard hobo sign. Some folks pass by and they go, oh, Bryan's down on his luck. We'll help him out. We like Bryan. It's pretty cool. It's cool. You guys are pretty cool here. You know? So, yeah. Here you go. It's on the way. Sending it now.
Oh, so now you got it. Oh, I appreciate that, man. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm not. But see, I'm not looking for. I mean, I guess don't shit on your blessings, but it's just like, dude, it's like annoying that I'm annoying myself that fucking keep fucking circling to this position, but whatever.
All right. Well, then if that's really the case, I get it. Then you gotta, get more active, and you gotta dedicate yourself more.
Mm-hmm.
And don't also block your blessings in the sense of presuming that folks don't value you just for who and what you are, right? Like, yeah, there's times we got to do and be more. I tell that to Jack Talcott, but the truth is, Jack Talcott don't have to do anything in order for folks to be endeared to him here or value him just for who and what he is. You could argue the more he does, the less they value him and the less endeared they are. To know him is to hate him, right? On some level. But even in that, there's still an endearing factor to it, even in the insanity. So, just understand the dynamics of things. People like you, they want to see you win. They want to see you do well. They also want to see you just like you want to see yourself. Put the time in, put the work in, dedicate yourself, stay consistent, and generate a result. That's just common sense. And, it's easier said than done because it requires you working it like a muscle, just like anything else. You got to do it all day, every day, or at least a certain amount of time every day and do it over and over again, 1,000 days straight till it becomes second nature. Let me see here. Did that go through? I think it
did. Fucking.
Yeah, it went through on my side, so it'll get there at some point.
Yeah.
I got to thank Julio M. Happy birthday, Paulie. Just in case you didn't see my message, your perseverance is an inspiration alone, not including your words. Enjoy your day, my friend. You see how that works, O'Shea? Because I decided that at some point, right? I said, even if I suck at broadcasting, even if people hate me and I'm an abrasive, obnoxious personality and I don't say anything interesting or entertaining, let's say all that's true. One thing they can't take away from me is I show up here every fucking day, 7 days a week, over 500 days straight. People see value in that. Right. So I don't care where you work, bro. If I have a business, you don't have to be the best worker there. You show up every fucking day and you got a care in your heart and people see that, they're going to value maybe more than everyone else who can do the job better than you, who kicks their feet up, who goes over here, goes over there. They don't stay consistent. So that's my point, man. You got to know your strengths and potentially your weaknesses. I learned that at my job, my warehouse job. I apply it to this broadcast. I show up every fucking day and I have no excuses and I walk to work, right? I get there the long way. I don't take the easy way out. And then when the day comes where it snows and they go, who's at the warehouse? Oh, it's just you, Paulie boy? No one else is there? The manager, this guy, all the guys making 100,000, they're not there. Why not? Because there was snow on the ground. Really? They got Mercedes-Benz and all the rest. They didn't show up to the warehouse to receive deliveries because it's snowing out? Well, how did you get there? We know you don't have a car. Oh, I walked. You see? In that one moment, you're made. To yourself, if nobody else. It's not even about them. To yourself. Because I made a decision. I'm showing up every fucking day. No excuses. So that day when I showed up and I walked to work in the snow and the rest of the guys making 10 times more than me just didn't need to show up because, hey, there's X amount of snow on the ground. That's where you win. That's where you become true to self. That's where you solidify your integrity and your reputation. I'm not going to be like them. I'm going to go above and beyond because this is about me. This is for me. And because it's for me, it's also for everybody else indirectly, if not directly, right? So, that's just something I've learned that I apply for me, and it seems to work because I've had folks tell me, whether we like you or not, we're entertained, whatever, all the rest of it, we get inspired by seeing you show up every fucking day and not missing. It inspires and motivates them to go to their job, to do what they need to do, to show up for their children, right? Even if it's indirect, man, a lot of this shit is subtle, but it's there. So, take that for what it's worth, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the indirect things that we never know about. I mean, there's
a lot of communication is indirect, bro. You could tell what somebody wants by the amount of time, energy, attention they put in. So when folks come here and they see me in the list, they start to go, you know what? I'm going to look out for him. I'm going to contribute something because this motherfucker shows up every day. He inspires us to care and do what we need to do. It's just that quick, man. It could be that simple. It don't even have to be about the rest of the 2-3 hours. It's about what it represents to them, right? And it's probably going to be the same thing it represents to me. So they're going to see that and feel that, and it's going to translate, and it's going to make them want to invest in me, right? All the older people who've been working all their life, they don't want to invest. I'm not trying to be insulting. I'm not even going to make it specific. Forget it. They don't want to invest in other folks they see on here because they see what they're really about. They just show up whenever. They bullshit. They're not really real and authentic. They don't have any passion. They don't have any care. When someone like you see Rick down there or other folks, they work all their life. They show up every day. They keep an eye on me and they see me showing up and doing what I do. At some point, it clicks in them. I want to do for him. I want to invest in him. I want to see him do well in life because it's about the ethic. It's about the care, right? I've just seen that in different places in my life. When I valeted, same thing. You know, I'm out of the car. I'm standing in the rain. I'm asking these people what the fuck they need. You know, if I'm doing my drugs, I'm keeping it away from the work situation or I'm not becoming a problem, right? I go in the bathroom, shoot my fucking dope, but I'm at everybody's service after the 10 minutes I take in the bathroom, right? Before or after. Obviously, you shouldn't do that. But the point is, even shooting heroin, it was about what am I there to do? Who am I there to serve? How can I make everybody's life a little bit more inspiring, empowering, and better? And when you live that way, that's when you wind up with the most tips at the end of the night and the rest of the loser failures hating on you and trying to get you to split up tips. How come, Paulie, don't want to split up tips? Because I bust my fucking balls and I really care and I go above and beyond. And that's why I do 3 times what the rest of you slaves at least do. Because the people in the suits who get out, they can feel it coming off me. And they say, we're going to look out for him. Right? Also, too, because I don't rob all the fucking cars like the rest of the scum. Soon as they turn their back, they're robbing everything out of the cars. And they think these people didn't watch you just get in and know what you're doing. That's how dumb they are. So instead of them getting a $50 bill from a motherfucker who sees that you care and you protected their shit, they got $5 in fucking change. And they had to be a thief to get it. That's the difference. I learned all this shit on the job, man. It's on the job training. You learn how to be a good, honorable servant of man and woman and how to do better than the rest who are lying, scrapping, cheating, stealing, mailing it in. You know, the ethic, man. Ethic will take you far in this life if you really get it and you really work it like a muscle. You know, I had to learn that because I didn't have that naturally. I don't want to do shit naturally the way I was, you know, and kind of still the way I am in certain ways. I don't want to do shit. I don't want to work, you know. I'm just like Slave Cotton, Slow State, and the rest of them. I'm too good to work, right? I don't want to work. I don't want to do hard labor, you know? I don't want to have to control myself and direct myself in my life. I don't want to have to do what's true and what's right when nobody's looking. There's always somebody looking. If not, it's you, right? So what do you think of you? How do you carry you around? How do you feel about you and the way you live this day and every other day? You know? At a certain point, you don't want to, even if you could steal $1 billion, you don't want to go home and have to think you're a fucking low-life thief and that you couldn't make a living in a way in the world the right way. You had to lie, cheat, steal to get it. Can't enjoy it anyway at that point.
And, it's great stuff, dude. I mean, I'm all fired up, motivated. I got good vibes, good vibrations right now. Vibing high, man. You know, I got plans. We'll see if I'm not guaranteed because sometimes I'll say shit and I don't do it. But I got plans to go to the garden, drop my computer off, walk to the garden, get a workout, pull some weeds at the community garden. Yeah. So I don't know, man. Feeling good right now.
What do you think about your boy down there?
I got 93 cases.
I got 93 cases, but a grift ain't one. Hit me.
These fucking guys, man. Wizard, dude. God. He was here for a year and a half. He's showing up every day, right? Every day. Second the light goes on him. We've all done it, though. I've done it, but I just don't stay away like these motherfuckers.
All right, I'm out of here, man. We're 20, 30 minutes over. We put in our time here. It's not like I'm going to go party or do anything different or special, but let's check out of here. Give me the final word. And we'll be back at it tomorrow, man, as always.
All right, y'all. Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks so much, Paul. Happy birthday. Fucking chilly, dude. Fucking much love to you, dude, but I mean, even though you're fucking up, man. I mean, we got, I'm not that this whole put my hands on you. Nah, dude, fuck that shit. Like, you're just going through your process, bro. And I hope you learn a lot. And I hope, whatever, dude. I hope you fucking turn it around and we could maybe collab together. And I'm looking forward to what's going on with you and Bryan and High Impact Flicks, because there's a connection there. So I'm curious to see what that's all about. So salute everyone in chat and the donation. Much love, guys. Thanks. I'll see you later.
I appreciate you, Bryan. I think we all look forward to seeing what you're going to create and be a part of. And, we see potential in you. And, we also acknowledge your accomplishments and achievements, or just, your abilities. So, yeah, man, feel good about yourself and your life. Apply yourself, get some results, level up on the results, right? Stay at it. Stay dedicated to creating some kind of a life or lifestyle that you, can feel good about and enjoy. I think we all want that for ourselves and each other. So I appreciate you, brother, man. All right. I'm calling it a resounding success, a celebration of life, as every day should be, at least at some point throughout your day. Take some time to celebrate life and the law of creation, I guess you could call it. The universal experience of conscious and awareness with conscience, heart-based intelligence. All right, I'm out of here. Mazel from out west. I'll be back tomorrow, as I said, somewhere between 12 and 3 MDT, as always. We don't stop, like Mr. DeCastro says, over 500 days straight. And of course, this broadcast is sponsored by you, the people. Comes in all shapes, sizes, and forms. There's statists, which are pretty much citizen slaves. There's inauthentic corporate males, which is pretty much the same as the first two. And then there's free men and women. So it kind of takes all of us to make this simulation happen. So I'm thankful and grateful for that, right? There really is no judgment. There really is no condemnation. There really is no division and separation. There is just one moment that we call time, and this one experience we call life, and the cause and effect within, based on our thoughts, emotions, actions, and inactions. So back to the simulation that is life. I look forward to seeing you folks back, not only tomorrow, but many more after. God willing, as they say. Allah willing. All right, enough said, enough jibber jabber. I love you folks. If you don't love the truth, more importantly, back, because that's what's more important than you loving me, is loving the truth. I'm probably going to tell you to go fuck yourself for your own good, for your own safety. That's my form of policy and governance. Now get the hell out of here. Say goodnight to the bad guy.
Me, I always tell it, even when I lie. So say good night to the bad guy. Come on. The last time you're gonna see a bad guy like this again.
The great reset's happening. So when you get all your pretty and nice shit taken away and your bullshit job that leads to nowhere, and you're forced back on the land and have to be self-sustainable and co-creative and work with what is, this talk about your feelers and your ego is going to go right out the window, because the God and the elements and nature are going to present what needs to happen next. 9 out of 10 times. That's the difference between me and you. I got it in me, not on me, just like you do. I'm trying to work it out, bring the subconscious to the conscious, and figure out who and what I am. Am I good or evil? Am I real and true? Am I a narcissistic, egotistical deceiver? That's the difference. I'm actually authentically trying to work it out while you lie to everyone and project your negative aspects of self onto me, and I don't appreciate it. And the universe don't appreciate it either. And the students of life in this audience don't appreciate it either. This isn't about love and money. This isn't about chasing bags or anything else in and of the world. This is about the philosophy, right? The love of knowledge, the love of wisdom, the love of understanding of self and applying it to actualize and realize and get better results for yourself and everyone else. I thought that's what we were doing here. So let's get the game back in its proper perspective. The motherfucker doing this shit shouldn't have to talk about it because you folks want to lie on it. It's embarrassing to me. I didn't come on here with the intention of the understanding that this is supposed to be for business or a hobby. That's why I show up the way I do 500 days straight. That's why I have a care in my heart with passion. That's why I do what's true and what's right and see through you motherfuckers and get amazing results for me.
We can't allow the generalized experience of life and everything it has to offer, good, bad, and indifferent, to hold us back or keep us paralyzed or keep us fearful or self-doubting or unloving and uncaring of ourselves. How do I know? Because I look into me. That's all this is. I can see further than the rest. I can interpret beyond what's told and shown, and I can amalgamate and communicate the cause and effect and the root of the state of consciousness and awareness. That is a astounding testimony to the work that I've done on myself in this world and in this life, and the practices I've walked with other people. The question and answer, the fellowship, the co-creational endeavors, and the conversation that leads to understanding. But again, we can't appeal to false emotions and false authority. That is the cornerstone of cognitive dissonance. You can't say that I'm respectable, righteous, honorable, presentable, and then I have balls, and then turn around and hate me or catch feelings over me, be in that and live in that when you don't like it, or when it doesn't turn out as favorably for you as you would have hoped or expected, right? That's the theme of a true common bond that goes long term versus the shallow, materialistic, worldly connections that come and go. It is what it is. Some people are down forever. Some people are down for the ride until they got to get off, right? And some people ain't down at all. So through the life experiences, firsthand experiences, through the tests and challenges, you learn more and more who and what is meant for you, and who or what is probably not going to be able to sustain the ride. And that's okay.
God of all media.